Hello there, friends. Hello, and welcome to the Postgame Show, where we talk pretty casually and excitedly at times about the House of the Dragon show. Lots to talk about tonight. Alt-Shift-X is never late. No, that doesn't surprise me. He's in another continent. I'm not here to be held to his standard, okay? So just eat. No, it's good. I am fashionably late, but we are here. I do have an awesome panel. We're here to talk about an episode with a lot to talk about. I mean, there's a lot of turns of discussion. There we go. There's a lot. There was a lot going on. There was very tense dragon fighting, and there was a lot of manipulation. Frankly, a lot of manipulation. Some forbidden love scenes. Psych! That was just a dream. That was just a dream. My God, I thought we were going there. That was disturbing. Yes, so here we are to basically commiserate with each other and share feelings about the Dragon show, which was hot dragoning as hard as it ever does. Hello, Nettles. Hello, Estella Graves. We are all caffeinated and here and happy to be with y'all. So thank you for showing up.
Hey guys, It's Nettles. I'm dressed as book accurate Rhaenys, the queen who never was. And I cannot wait. You guys are gonna hate me. 9.9 already, just off rip.
9.9. I guess we're rating the episode first.
No, only I am, just because that's how excited I am about this.
Well,
episode.
you just tell us how we should do this, and then we'll. I wasn't ready with the rating. Let's do it though. We always wait until like 2 hours at the end. Let's rate it at the beginning. It's a good idea, Nettles. It's a good idea. We'll go with it.
I'm just saying.
Do you want to go next, Estella?
Gosh, this episode was really good. There was only one scene that I didn't like, and we'll get into why I didn't like it. I think we're all on the same page with it. I would give this episode like an 8.5. I thought for a penultimate episode, this, without anything like incredibly crazy happening, like war or a sept blowing up, I thought this was still incredibly like moving and interesting, and I really liked it. So yeah, 8.5.
Well, I would give it a 9 because it made me feel a lot of things. We're going to have a lot to talk about. This is probably going to go at least 2.5 hours. But I have to give it a 10 because Eclipse Long Night Theory confirmed, mother. That's right. That's what we saw. Those weren't heart hands. These are Eclipse hands. Helena dreaming of the long night while the moon wanders too close to the sun. That's a very important thing, but we'll talk about that later. Only I care about that crap and my core myth heads. We're going to talk about the tense dragon fight first because, oh my God, like you always forget how much you hate watching the dragons get hurt or die. Like Viserion's death from Game of Thrones might have been the saddest moment in the whole show for me. I'm sorry, Ned. I'm sorry, Oberyn. But like, dang. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The dragons are innocent.
Yeah, this is the scene that I was like, I didn't like it. I get it. It looked really cool. It was crazy, but I was watching it just like, oh no, no. Because, oh man, every dragon got hurt in a way that just, it seemed like it's going to be bad for everyone. I'm like, it's just stupid idea. Stupid to let them all just start chomping at each other.
Well, they had to do it because Ormond, he foretold this earlier in this episode when he said, to Corlys, like, how do you stand being around them? They're always going at each other. Like the dragons, like the Targaryens. And then they show like what it looks like when Targaryens go at each other.
There was a lot of Targaryen shade this episode. I mean, with Alice too saying, oh, you Targaryen boys, you all want one thing. And it's,
I wrote that line down. I want to see if we can hone in on just what that thing is that she was referring to. Is it just straight Oedipus complex
I
sex?
think it's mommy.
Is that what she's talking about? Or
I think so, because Aemond was taking mommy's side in that moment, and Alice was like, she's here to hurt you, and he's like, no, nuh-uh, my mom's good. Get out of here, witch.
So I picture Alice in the Harrenhal dream control room, and she's trying different things, and it's not working. She's like, fuck it, send the mom dream, send the mom sex dream.
Again.
It's fine. We'll resort. Yeah. It's like the Chewbacca defense. Works every time.
That meme that's like, this again tonight? It's like, yes, dear, that's Alice. I'm like, oh, the mommy dream again tonight? Yes, amen. Okay.
I'll put on the wig. 1 second.
Well, yeah.
Brutal.
Well, oh my gosh, Estella, who are you dressed as? The people, the chat wants to know.
Yeah, this is my attempt at like a Mizaria. You know, I got the little hair braid going on. I got the little crossing white dress situation. I wore this earlier in the week for my episode review. So my attempt, this was a good episode for Mizaria too. And not just because she had a better dress this episode. We'll talk about it. There's a lot going on with Mizaria this episode. So...
Oh, there was so much manipulation. Somebody in the chat was saying this episode felt all over the place. I disagree. There was a lot of themes that cross-applied to different scenes, and there was a lot of good scene-to-scene segues, you know, where it was like, oh, they were talking about dinner, and then the next scene, different people were eating dinner. And they kind of did that all through the episode.
Yes.
The parallels are more important, but like, yeah, like the manipulation, the now you see me as I am, that line got thrown around a few times with different people. You see why Tom Glencarney was getting all the praise from the people that watched the episode early. They can't keep their damn mouths shut.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm unsullied. I was not spoiled by anything.
Yeah, you know how it is. They're like, oh, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, you know, this is Aegon's best episode. I saw it. You didn't. Anyway. Yeah, power corrupts. Exactly. They give you the screeners and you get corrupt. That's how it works. Oh, you're talking about... Oh.
Dang. Here we go.
I mean, speaking of that, though, I mean, Helena, kind of in the beginning of the episode, telling Rhaenyra, you know, oh, you have 5 dragons now. Are you not changed? You know? And Rhaenyra being like, no, I'm totally the same as I've always been. You know, it's like,
and then
girl,
Sylvie, same thing to Mysaria, saying, oh, aren't you changed? You've been hanging around here. Don't forget who you are. They'll never forget who you are. Kind of stuff. So that's what I mean. Yeah.
No, yeah. But out of everyone, I feel like Rhaenyra has changed the least. If you could say she's changed from like...
I think she's been backed into a corner. You know, she's like, well, now I have to change because nothing I'm doing is working. You know, it's not like... You can see how she's getting to where she's getting to. And it's not just that she's just doing a switch up. You know, like Ulf or someone who's also clearly like, you know, literally changing and switching sides.
Thank you, River Mist Faye. She understands the tone I'm going for here. 2 gorgeous baddies and some guy in the middle. I'm just happy to be here in the middle. That's it. But of course, very grateful for y'all. Not just me, but the whole chat. You guys bring a lot. All of my guests bring a lot. I'm very grateful for all of y'all. So thank you guys who leave kind comments in the videos afterwards too, complimenting the guests. Like that really makes my heart warm, makes people feel welcome. Appreciate that. I'm always happy to invite people on because you guys are so nice. So go back. I said we start with the dragon fight and then we were all over the place. Let's go back to that bloody thing. We got several drive-by waves at the book. Nettles, I was feeling for you. The people have heard a rumor of some girl living amongst the weeds and nettles. I was like, oh, they did it. They said it. They had to say it.
I threw up.
They had to do it in some way, and we all knew it was coming. And I've been loving all the jokes of how they're going to do it. And yeah, it was just about as corny as I thought it would be. So
It was. You almost expected the characters to like stop and laugh and there to be a ba-boom. And then they
look at the camera like they're on The Office. They're just
yeah, totally. Da, 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 da. So that's a different show, but whatever. The other thing was they did a drive-by of the book plot where Nettles and Sheep Stealer and Daemon and Caraxes all hunt down Vhagar, right? Because Daemon's like, oh, I'll help you. We'll hunt him down. And then all of a sudden Rhaenyra crashes the party and it's over. So it was like a road not taken. Like, oh, we almost did the book. No, we're not doing that. So I guess Sheep Stealer's driven off now and Rhaena's back on track to hatch morning someday, or...
Yeah, I would love to hear what y'all's thoughts are on this, because my partner, he was like, okay, see, that's what he was thinking. He was like, so are we done with Sheep Stealer, and this is how like Nettles and Sheep Stealer disappear into the veil, into oblivion, never to be seen again, and then Rhaena's gonna get mourning? Do we think that's what's gonna happen?
Yeah,
I'm not sure how they're going to would reincorporate Sheep Stealer at this point, unless Reyna runs off wild again to find her or find him or something. Other than that, it's because it's not really a spoiler to say what happens in the books since we've gone a different direction. But in the books, at a certain point, Nettles and Sheep Stealer fly off and they're not seen again. They become the Fire Witch and all that in the mountains. But basically, Sheep Stealer's done. He doesn't have any more plot work to do.
Yeah. Sky's the limit, though. I mean, like I said, she could come back, catch Damon mid. Anyways,
No, we haven't seen Reyna running through the hills of the Vale enough. We could go back for more of that. That's true.
Yeah. I just feel like, though, like if Sheep Stealer doesn't die on screen, if I don't see it, I don't believe that dragon's dead.
No,
right.
they took a lot of blows that you almost think would have been killing blows, and they were all still like when Sheep Stealer got Cyrax's neck and started sweeping the ground with Cyrax, I was like, oh crap, that's bad. But apparently, it takes more than just one little bite to get through a dragon neck, unless you're Vagar, right?
Unless you're Vagar, yeah. Maybe those scales are softer.
Yeah, Phoebe Campbell got some lines today, that's for sure. Thank you, Norman. I'm trying to not ban you, but rather like your super chat. Sweet, I did it. So I think we're all on the same page. Why did they feel like they had to put Sheep Stealer down? Like, once they had Reyna away from Sheep Stealer, why didn't they just leave? Like, Damon was risking Caraxes there. Sheep Stealer's a big friggin' dragon.
I think it's just what Damon said when he first discovered her. He's like, "You're not supposed to ride a wild dragon. They can't be trusted." And what's the first thing Reyna says coming off that dragon? Go away. I can't control him. So he's like, okay, so like maybe this happens once in a while, because the thing about that scene is it seems so practiced. Like Damon almost like went, and then like you get like they have this plan already coordinated. Like maybe Targaryens have had to do this before. No one's ever claimed a wild dragon. But still, it was done kind of like in a choreographed way. The way like their dragons went up in there and like knew to put them down, kind of like warging, They didn't have to be on their dragon for their dragons to be precise.
I think to me too, it's like Damon kept saying, Rhaenyra, like call off your dragon, and she didn't. And so I think it was a little bit of, Rhaenyra had such heightened emotions. Like the emotions were so high that the dragons, I think, were reacting in kind to their riders. And I think I think Cyrax just felt that. And, it's like they couldn't fully control. I mean, we've been playing with this idea for seasons now of they can't fully control the dragons. And I think, they just, like dogs, they just started snapping at each other. And so they were like, well, now at this point, we can't really stop them now that they've started.
This is the bit of dragon lore that we knew like the most clearly from the books, is that the dragons feel the emotions of their riders. Like when the riders are at odds, the dragons are ready to go. Like they get that. So I think that's mostly what was going on here. And it's the same with the direwolves and the Starks. When Tyrion goes back to Winterfell in a Game of Thrones and the direwolves charge at him, because the Starks all are suspicious against the Lannisters at that point. So
I can see Sheep Stealer doing something like what we just saw Sunfire do. Sunfire looks brand new. Like whatever that stone thing.
Well, no, Sunfire's whole half of his face was messed up. Didn't you see?
It was all like burnt and
it was way messed up.
Him and Aegon are matching now. They got matching little melt faces.
Which, not to bring up the eclipse, several times throughout the stream, but like Aegon and Sunfire, that's the solar dragon. That's the sun dragon. So George always creating these long night symbolism templates. Aemond is the Night King. Thanks for watching my video this week. And he takes power after the face of the sun is disfigured and hidden. And in the books, Aegon is on Milk of the Poppy, and he's riding around in a closed litter. He's completely hidden. And so that's why Sunfire's face and Aegon's face are both disfigured. It's that sun symbolism. So, yeah, go back and look at it again, Nettles. There's the whole half of the face is gray. The eye is a pit. Like, it looks bad.
I'll definitely be rewatching this episode. This episode was so good. But
and we're all taking notes, by the way, guys. Like we're watching, we're writing stuff down and doing this. So sometimes, you miss it.
Yeah. I just saw like most like the fire part, so I guess yeah. Anyways, um, no, going back to like the sheep stealer, I think they're like working on some sort of lore here about the theory of like the wild dragon. And if they're not working on it, I know someone in the fandom might want to work on it. Kind of like similar to the theory or the genetic trait that's like the wild wolf, like how they're, how they, it's like a genetic anomaly that pops up on the Stark line where they're like wild. I think that could be something here with Sheep Stealer because the bond with Reyna is so different.
I think it's mostly just like it's probably a pretty good analog to pets. It's the difference between a domesticated husky and a wolf that you've sort of made friends with by offering him food at your camp, but like you don't quite trust
Mhm.
each other. I think that's
Yeah.
essentially what we're talking about. It's like, no, that's not a dog, you know?
Yeah, it's your friend that's like convinced you that his pet coyote is totally chill,
Yes.
and coyote's running around and peeing on everything, and they're like, no, 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 he just bites like that. That's just how he plays.
Well, you live in LA. It seems like you're making friends fast down there, Estella.
No, we just have a lot of coyotes around here, and I see people all the time
I know.
accidentally rescue them because they think it's like a puppy. They'll be
Hmm.
like, "Oh, I found puppies," and nope, it's coyote. They're always coyotes.
Yeah, I knew what you were talking about. I've spent enough time down there. Up in the
Yeah.
Bay, I used to know a guy that kept a small alligator in a tank in his backyard. That was in West Oakland, so that's a little different vibes. But yeah, guys, well, stick with the official pets. No, don't get adventurous with the pets. That's very bad. So let's talk about Sunfire's reemergence and Tom's performance. He was doing some like just now you behold me as I am. And then it's oh, my dragon's here. Like that was pretty good sequence, a little bit of comedy, a little bit of
Yeah.
like terrifying dragon.
I love to his Dracarys because it's a moment of you think he's gonna be like, hey, everyone bow to me, and then he's like, no, kill them all, Sunfire, and you're like, oh, this has gone dark very
That's
quickly, but
crazy.
in a way that was so fun, and him just kind of laughing maniacally, where I'm like, oh, this isn't like a new changed Aegon of like, I'm gonna be a good man, I'm gonna be a better man after all these conversations with Laris and Thailand. No, he is doubling down.
He was fully screaming with Sunfire as Sunfire was he's like as if he was doing the dragon fire. He had the same look on his face as I do when I get up in the morning and I think there's no Red Bulls in the fridge and I open it and there's one. I'm like, oh, Jakari's, we're drinking that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the reaction. So, because it means I don't got to walk to the store yet. I'm not awake yet. I just want to
Yeah.
drink it. Um,
I know it's jumping ahead a little bit too, but man, we saw so many dragons this episode because we saw Dreamfire too, or like Dreamfire, and so
we did see Dreamfire. That's right.
Dreamfire, super super cool. I was very stoked. Very different looking than how I thought Dreamfire was gonna look.
Very cool looking, like a little shades of Melis with the crown, but like a much longer crown.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Very purple blue. Like I feel like that's a very very magical and dreamlike. I would say maybe one of the most magical looking dragons we've seen thus far for
Yeah,
sure.
crown of thorns. Yeah, absolutely. Um, and the other dragon that's low key really beautiful that we never see is Tyraxes, who's like different shades of purple. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe we'll probably see Tyraxes in the dragon pit next year. No spoilers, but we will probably. Yeah, Dreamfire, that was gratifying. So yeah, Helena's dreams. She sees Dreamfire roasting a bunch of people. So this is like her terror of like riding the dragon. Like I might have to kill people. I don't want to do that. Probably for a psychic empath, roasting people alive is not like fun. And
Mm-mm.
so she dreamt of the eclipse and the long night. Obviously there was snow and the world darkened and we saw the eclipse. What was the other one she dreamed of?
The birth of her child and it being taken from her immediately.
Right,
You
the
know.
Kingsguard was shades of
Mhm.
that frigging movie. Is it called Mother?
Yeah, yeah, kind
Oh,
of
with
mother vibes. Yeah,
I do
with
not
Jennifer
recommend
Lawrence.
anyone watch that movie, by the way, if you're sensitive at least. I was sorry that I watched it, even though I can admit that it's a well-crafted movie, but oh my God, that was disturbing. Anyway,
Stressful. I was gonna say too. One thing that I thought was interesting from a visual standpoint is when Helena is in the vision on Dreamfire, she's wearing like a blue version of Rhaenyra's season 1 writing getup for when she
hmm,
sees the white heart. And so I thought it was just interesting that she was styled in a way that is reminiscent of like young Rhaenyra seeing this portent from the gods, having to take on that responsibility of like, I am the chosen one that my father has chosen. Like it felt very like Helena was like, in this vision, I've been chosen to do war. And it just very like parallel shades of responsibility and god portents and just terrifying stuff. I just thought it was visually very interesting for them to dress her like that.
How about Rhaenyra shaking Helena like a magic 8-ball? I'd be like, show me that I am the destined chosen one. Show me. Tumbleton? Anything? Damon? This thing isn't working.
We were saying I love when actors are acting like they're bad actors when Rhaenyra is going, sister, please, you know, we're such
sister,
family, you know, sister. I was like, oh, she was hamming it up, and then very quickly was like, yeah, like you said, shaking her, being like, show me, tell me what you know. Yeah. It was
yeah,
great.
Rhaenyra she held her composure for about 5 seconds before she descended into threats. Yeah, that was not the best. Yeah. Somebody, Melon Musk, the Kingsguard, taking the baby like a White Walker. Nice, very much so. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Helena saying Dracarys, that's everything she's terrified of. And you're starting to see like she's feeling backed into a corner, not just because she's a hostage. Rhaenyra wants information from her, and she's afraid that people will make her ride the dragon. Rhaenyra asked, did Aemond ask you to ride the dragon? And she's like, yeah. And so,
yeah, and I think too, I mean, Helena has already said like, oh, hasn't she said in the show that, you know, Aegon needs to be king again or something? Like she has had some visions of something, like when she was telling Aemond last season, like, you know, Aegon will be king again. So she does know some things, but she is withholding that information from Rhaenyra, probably because she is scared. And I think it makes sense to be, you know. I don't think anyone wants to hear that right now, that they've seen a vision of Aegon being king again.
Do you think she will eventually ride the dragon at any point in the show?
I don't know.
I feel like we may have just gotten it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's, do you think that was a true vision of the future, or do you think that was like a dream of what may come to pass if a certain path is taken?
Well,
like
some people in the chat think that's the dragon pit she was seeing. We'll come back to that in the spoiler section, but you know, something from the future, basically, a future scene that they're going to do some version of.
Mm-hmm. I think it could be Dreamfire calling out to her. She's like, hey, I'm cooped up in here. I hear like all the other dragons are like fighting. They're really getting some action. And like, I'm trying to get in that. Like, you know, I can let me out. I smell the blood. Yeah. Let me out. We can do this together. It's so fun saying Dracarys.
I will say too, when Caraxes was first nipping at Sheepstealer, I was like, oh, it's kind of like brother vibes of them, like him, like just kind of like nipping at him and being like, but then they actually started fighting later, and I was like, no.
Well, at first it seemed like Caraxes was trying to force Sheepstealer to land without straight up attacking, which she did, or which Caraxes did. Hey, Greyways Tim, what's up there, homie?
No, I totally called it. I knew that they weren't. I mean, I kind of wavered. Like I was like, oh my gosh, we're about to see a dragon be killed like this. And then like, wait, no, he's definitely going to live. He's definitely like, I specifically thought that Daemon was going to purposely let Sheepstealer live.
Me too.
And then it'll be another betrayal to Rhaenyra, like immediately after this betrayal.
He kind of did, but he might have also just called it off because Caraxes got bit a couple times and he didn't want to risk further. But he kind of did let Sheepstealer go.
Yeah, I wonder if he thought like, oh, it's like so injured it's gonna die anyways, but then if, you know, it doesn't die, if Rhaenyra is gonna take that as like a betrayal of like, you didn't actually kill it, you know, even if Daemon is telling the truth this time of like, well, I thought I did, she's not gonna believe him. She's gonna say, you know.
That's true. He fell off. He was probably jostled a little bit by that. Maybe just knocked the fight out of him a little bit.
Yeah.
Tim is right though. Sheepstealer got jumped. Sorry, Nettles, what were you saying?
I was just going to say that he believes in like that Targaryenness, like that blood lineage dragons. Like he can't waste a dragon. Like that goes way beyond his ethics of being Valyrian.
Yeah, I was about to say he should be like the last one to be willing to kill a dragon, but he's like, kill it. Finish him, Caraxes. We got all Mortal Kombat there. It's like, no, should have said finish him, Cyrax. Then I would have been happy. Poor Cyrax though. Ugh, look at some neck wounds there.
I was worried that, yeah, Cyrax was going to die here. I was like, man, that looks really bad. Like when they were thrashing Cyrax around, and then luckily Cyrax got back up, and I was like, oh, thank God, you know.
It really did feel like bullies jumping somebody, and then like the person that got jumped is like, oh, it can fight too. They're hitting the bullies, and like it's just a mess. We're like, oh man, I wish we had never run into each other here.
Yeah. Not good.
I do think Emma Darcy killed it in that scene. Like their intensity as Rhaenyra getting off the dragon there, like, woo, you felt the wrath of the queen in that scene.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and can we talk about Adam, too, being able to run so fast, to run all the way down into that field, to grab Rhaena, and then run all the way back carrying a kicking, screaming person.
Rhaena didn't even really want to be running away from that whole scene either. Like the whole time she was conflicted about what to do. You kind of did feel for her.
Yeah.
You know, like Rhaenyra is telling her what to do, so she gets on the dragon, but then she's like, no, you know, just like I was, frankly.
Yeah, and you could see Sheepstealer calling out for her, where I was like, oh, even if this is your bad little dragon, he's your bad little dragon, and you're leaving him. I felt really bad.
I thought at the last minute she was gonna like run out, because like what could they do at that point if she like runs and like gets on Sheepstealer's back, you know? But no, she didn't. She was like, oh my gosh.
Orange Tabby reminds us that Clinton Liberty does his own stunts. Remember when Sheepstealer chased him through the woods, he was doing like full-on sprinting through the woods there. So we know he's fast. That checks out. Yeah. That's canon. Nice. They did Sheepstealer dirty, man. I agree with that. That was brutal. That hurt. I hated it in the like, not I hate the show sense, but just like, oh, like I was so anxious, so anxiety inducing.
Yeah.
Caraxes didn't kill Sheepstealer because Daemon didn't want it. Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think that's what we should assume. When the dragon riders give their dragons verbal commands, it's just to reinforce the basic emotional command that's already happening. So let's catch up with these super chats that came in. Immediately thinking of Will Smith when Ormond mentioned Rhaenys. Corlys, what? Corlys wanted her name out of his mouth? Is this a reference to a movie I haven't seen?
No, I think this is a reference. Is this a reference to the very famous slap that happened where Will Smith went up and who did he slap in the face? He said, keep my wife's name out of your mouth. Yeah.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Corlys did seem pretty pissed when Ormond brought up Rhaenys. He stood up and was like, I'm done here. And I'm like,
back to prison.
Oh, he was all like, God, step 17 of my master plan. And Corlys is like, yeah, can I go back to my cell? No, like, this is boring. I hate this.
The food is not seasoned. Like, I don't want to eat this anyways. Back to my prison.
Then he chopped off his frigging finger. Well, he probably didn't do it because we know he, throws up at the sight of violence. But somebody did.
Right.
I was going to say, did we think that was his finger?
Or it looked like it had a signet ring on there. And Corlys, yes, the preview of next week shows Corlys with a bandage.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes... Because like, they could have just taken his ring and been like, hey, we're taking fingers, and not really be taking fingers. If they want Corlys on their side. But dang, they really are taking his fingers.
They did. He did. I thought Ormond was trying to like potentially win over Corlys, but then it was like, no, that's not where the scene is going. So Ormond continues to be a B word. And Daeron with growing unrest, he had some pretty good lines tonight about what kind of king am I? And he's really chafing at this manipulation here. And it's almost the same thing as with Aegon when he was crowned. Remember, they crowned him as a puppet, and as soon as they gave him the sword and he stuck it up, he's like, hey, I'm king. This is cool. And then it's like, oh, what are we going to do? We made a king. So it's a similar thing here. It's like you put a crown on the kid's head, not literally, but you're telling him he's king and you're giving him the coins with his face on it. And it's like he had a question at dinner and Ormond's just like, silence. With a look, obviously.
I was going to say, I don't know if I really quite understand the point of keeping him and Gawain in the dark about his plan, about the thing he has up his sleeve.
I think that was mostly for us audience members so that Ulf's betrayal was a reveal at the end. I think that's
No, for sure. But I was going to say, I feel like that makes sense from a TV writing standpoint, but I feel like in universe, it doesn't quite make that much sense to me for him
Well,
to keep
Gwen
it.
said, he told us he's kind of a dick, but he's always got a canny plan afoot. So this checks out. He's got a plan, but he's not telling you because it's more fun for him to be like, I have a plan.
But also, like, he doesn't know if it's gonna work. What if Ulf was like noble or something?
True. Yeah, there's something to be said for not, spilling your beans until you've counting your chickens until some. Oh, there were chickens. Helena, in the vision of her two kids, both of them being alive, there were chickens in the background. Mm-hmm. So we should analyze Helena's dreams. That'll be a good video.
Yeah, I got that first on my notes. We won't forget.
Decent episodes, but feels like they've been cooking on Tumbleton for 4 episodes now, and it feels like it's dragging on instead of building up anticipation. I get that. But if you look at the next week preview,
it looks crazy.
It looks crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like Tumbleton. Oh, Eamon is in this episode too. Tumbleton. So
yeah, the hype for me is not gone. After seeing that preview for the next episode, I'm like, oh, it's gonna go down. So
yeah, so Hope Elope, this is the show succeeding. Like when Sunfire showed up, you were happy. And when Aegon was like Dracarys, you were kind of rooting for him at that point. Like, he's a bad dude. He's basically embracing it. Like, am I a bad person? He's like, yeah, I guess everyone does. I think I am a bad person. You know what? Dracarys. So yeah, it was a great scene. Like, even if you're Team Black and even if you obviously are aware that Aegon is a terrible person, nevertheless, you felt triumphant in the moment. So it's pretty good job there.
Yep.
I've been waiting for that Aegon scene ever since it leaked around a year ago.
What? The privileged.
Yeah, you gotta prune those Twitter follows. You gotta prune them as soon as you see somebody leaking. I really hope they stay close to the book when it comes to Sunfire and don't chicken out. Yeah, I was thinking about making a whole video, and Estella, you talked about it too. The actual ending of this war in the book and how they're gonna adapt that. So there'll be some challenges.
Yeah, there's I think a lot of I've seen like a million think pieces on how could they do it, how are they going to do it, and everyone's kind of still like stumped of like, how can we do this in a way that's not going to make everyone very angry? We'll see.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dave and Dan stole. Anyway, Jessamine Redfort, was that the person on Lady Jane's lap?
I'm gonna assume. Either way, I'm taking it as Lady Jane is girl kisser confirmed, and I'm very happy about that. So,
cherry chapstick.
Very confirmed. She was not sharing the throne. She was on Lady Jane's lap. Lady Jane is a top, just like Mysaria apparently a top. So this is good. Yeah. Good things to know.
Mm-hmm. I wrote that in my notes. Massaria a top, like those.
I did too.
Exact.
Estella?
Yeah. I mean, I think I was just a little mesmerized by the scene. I was like, oh, this is getting crazy. I was not expecting this. So
I got to bring the chat back in on this one. Girl caresser confirmed. Yeah, all those things. Mm-hmm. Imagine how much better the show would be without progressive. Oh God. Okay. Thanks for the super chat. But that's not what we do here. Thanks for playing. Adam Valerian is so fast. He gets off his, just not, wrong place. Adam Valerian is so fast. He gets off his dragon when he chases people. Oh yeah. Good point. Yeah, true. Yeah. No, we know he's fast. Probably our parkour champion of Hot Dragon. Let's see here. Thank you, Ben. Do you think Sheepstealer will return at some point? Well, we just talked about that. The only way it would happen is if Rhaena is just chases him back down. Maybe that's why someone in the chat earlier was saying maybe Daemon was trying to kill Sheepstealer because otherwise the dragon bond won't be broken and Sheepstealer is going to come sniffing around the Red Keep looking for Rhaena now or something. Like, that is possible. Yeah. Hard to say. We don't know.
It could be all of it. Not one reason, but all the reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sunfire came to Aegon's need, even though they had, Sunfire was brewmating or whatever, and they hadn't seen each other for a long time. Sunfire still showed up when Aegon needed him, just as Drogon does for Dany twice. So It's possible. Sheep Stealer will come looking for Rhaena. Absolutely. So I was very interested, Whitney, that Damon brought up the fact he didn't get a dragon until late either, because when I was doing my Dragon Encyclopedia video, I was looking at the timeline of when he claims Caraxes, and it doesn't seem like he has claimed Caraxes in 101 AC at the Great Council, because of course Damon rallies a small army and shows up at the Great Council just to like put some heat on everyone or whatever, but there's no mention of Caraxes. And if he had had Caraxes, we would have heard about that at that point, and we didn't. So 5 years later in 105, he's got Caraxes by then. So that's like his early 20s that Damon claimed him. So they didn't make that up. That's canon. And the rest of it, they're just filling in as far as like, oh, you know, well, we know that his mom died, but he's like, oh, my brother lapsed into grief, which makes sense for a show of Viserys. And so Damon's like, yeah, I was alone too. I think the tender moments between Damon and Rhaena did work. Did they not?
No, yeah, definitely. I was actually thinking of that scene in the cave where everyone unanimously said how great the acting was, and it was shown here as well.
And I liked this. This is the Damon that I want to see more of. And I liked when he was talking to Rhaenyra and he was trying to be apologetic, even if it was a little bit of, you know, but it was very much like, you know, this is my child and I've neglected them. Like, I was like, this is the Damon I want to see, the caring side of Damon that I feel like the show has not done a great job thus far at showing until this season. You know, in season 1, we had those scenes cut out of him with his daughters. Like, I feel like I'm like, this is what I wanted, that duality. And I like that we're getting it.
Matt Smith is incredible. Like he can pull off whatever he's asked to do. Seconding Becky's question, you think a pale mare nod. Well, Helena mentioned the pale mare in the dream, but I don't know what that would have. Like the pale mare is a plot point in Meereen with Dany, so I'm not sure. If you guys are seeing the connection, then let me know, but I don't see one.
It was the horse that Arya found after season 8.
It would be funny if that's what they were joking on. Sorry, Estella.
Like, isn't there some metaphorical thing about like a pale horse representing death or something? Isn't that a thing?
It's from Revelation. Yeah, behold a pale horse and a rider.
I took it as like maybe it was like that type. You know, it's like you think a white horse is like some beautiful like symbol. She was like petting the horse. It seemed really dreamy, but I'm like, maybe it was supposed to be a little bit more of an ominous thing, and Rhaenyra is just not seeing it. She's like, oh, whatever. What else did you see? Did you see Damon? Like, she's just glossing over the symbolism.
Darby Soar says Nettles needs a timeout for reminding us of season 8.
Never forget what they did to us.
Yeah, and I haven't gotten all the super chats yet. I did not miss them. I'm just flipping back and forth because sometimes the super chat will open a discussion and I get lonely without seeing what you guys are saying because you're so very funny and witty. So I'm going back and forth. I will always get all the super chats before we go. Don't worry. Now that we've had this talk, I feel like we can proceed forward on better feet. Maybe after the betrayal, they realize they need Sheep Stealer. Yeah, I think if we see Sheep Stealer again, it'll probably be because Rhaena and the bond. But because Ulf just betrayed. Like, Rhaenyra is going to be less trusting going forward.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
My Arya is sneaky. Poor Helena. Bela triangle. Yo, we did get the Adam Allen. Oh, I felt bad for Adam there. He's like, oh.
Yeah.
And then everyone showed up and we moved on. But yeah, that's officially a triangle and a mess. Ulf turned cloak. Rhaenyra needs real. You're just going through the whole episode. I think they alluded to Rhaena can't control Sheep Stealer. Yep, we hit that one. Mm-hmm. Let's take a minute for the love triangle since I brought it up.
Yes.
We called that, didn't we?
A bit of a lopsided triangle, though, it seems. Bela was kind of like, wait, what? And Adam was like, wait, what? What do you mean, my brother? You know?
We definitely called it yes. But also now, I think there's a fourth. What do you call it? Like a foretop? Because bring Rhaena in there. Because right after their scene, it went to Rhaena's scene. So it kind of jolted my mind and connected the two. It's like, oh, she's a dragon rider that needs help. Like, maybe she can get in on one of those brothers.
She's not going to want to be second choice or consolation prize. I think she's a little sensitive in that area.
Also, as much as I recognize what this show is, I would love some pairings that are not familial. I would love some pairings that are not.
You will eat your slop and you'll love it. Okay?
Yeah.
We're doing incest over here.
Family trees a wreath. Family trees a wreath. Always, forever.
One thing they did set out to do with this show is to increase the level of incest from what is in the books somehow.
Somehow. Every season. No,
I mean,
go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, even though it was a dream sequence, that Aemond Allison scene, you're right. Like, we are just we are just somehow having more than was in the book, and it's like, how is that even possible? So
yeah, I don't know if it does any good to say, oh, it was just a dream when we're already throwing up in the trash can. So that was, I was just watching, my eyes were just burning, just like, oh my God, they're actually doing just what? And then it's like, oh, okay, it was a fake out. I was like, you're trolling us, Ryan.
Yeah, well, as soon as she came into the scene and started talking to him, I was like, she's talking to him real weird. There's a tone in her voice. I was like, this doesn't feel right to me. This feels like a dream. And my partner was like, no, we know that she's going to Harrenhal. And I was like, no, something doesn't feel right here. And then when she leaned in for the kiss, I was like, this is very bad.
Never. No, I called it immediately. I was like, first of all, no, not that fast, Allison. Like, not even with the jetpack. You're not getting there that fast. So I was like, and then as soon as she moved in, I was like, yeah, that's not Allison.
Yeah, sort of. That was clearly the Aemond fantasy, and you notice in both versions of Alicent said, "You're all I have left," but the first version of Alicent put a lot more like on there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it was interesting seeing like the real version and the dream and Aemond's like dream version conception.
The vibes were very different. Yeah.
Do you guys think Aemond could be a seer or a dreamer? Because he didn't predict that. It was Alice. Okay, yeah. Alice predicted it and put it in his head.
Yeah, it's all, I think we have to attribute it to Harrenhal. Like, if you've never had prophetic dreams and then you have them at Harrenhal, we're blaming Harrenhal, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and I will say too, last episode I thought that the nightshade was going to come back in Alicent putting it in Helena's soup to induce like an early birth, but the birth was a dream sequence. But the nightshade did come back in Alicent trying to poison Aemond. So
she's like, wait, my autistic daughter told me that that's a poison berry.
So
I think she's right. Yeah. So yeah, watching now that all is setting aside the troubling sex scene, I did think that Olivia Cooke was really serving in these scenes, like playing this sort of like here's what she was doing. So Alice, the job as Alicent there for Olivia Cooke was to portray someone who has strong emotions but is lying about what they are. Okay? This is like when someone gives a false confession to their parents and they're really hiding the big secret, but they're taking their stress and emotional energy and like going over the top of some sob story, and you're almost just like, that's just a lot of freaking emotion. Like, I don't know if I trust this. That's what Alicent was giving there very effectively.
Well, I thought it's a testament to her as an actress to have to play Gail Rankin playing Alice Rivers, playing Alicent Hightower as Alicent Hightower. Like, she's having to like really do some nuances in that performance, and then to come back later in the same scenes and actually just play Olivia Cooke as Alicent Hightower. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
No, yeah. I was definitely thinking, just for me, death to Alice, because you are not putting dreams of me in a parent. Like, I would have to kill you. Like, it's just...
I mean, Aemond seemed kind of into it. I mean, she called him out. She was like, you Targaryen boys all want the same thing. I think she's showing him what he wants.
But you can't put it in there. If it's already in there, hey. But you can't put it in there.
Well, so Aemond was a bit disturbed by it. He threw Alice off and ran out. And then in the next scene, he was kind of like pointing the finger at her, like, oh, you just want me for yourself. You just want to control me. Like, he sniffs the manipulation there as well. And I mentioned that there's a lot of manipulation. So we've got Ormond manipulating Daron. We've got Mysaria manipulating Rhaenyra. There's Alice manipulating Aemond. Alicent trying to manipulate Aemond. And I feel like there was one more too.
I mean, Rhaenyra trying to manipulate Helena to tell her what she
Helena.
wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One might say Olivia was cooking.
Yeah. Ormond trying to manipulate Corlys. Did we get that one in there of like,
Yeah, that's a good one.
Him trying to manipulate Ulf of, Ulf, would you like High Tide?
Yeah. And then the dragon fight. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Ormond manipulating Ulf. Yeah, that was the one I was trying to think of. Yeah.
Ulf, yeah.
This is a good
It's like scene
timely
for scene.
What's that?
I'm like, it's like every scene almost.
Yes. This was the manipulation episode. Alicent attempting to kill Aemond, but not getting the confirmation that he's dead. Do you think she tells Rhaenyra he's dead and then he shows back up and Rhaenyra sees it as another betrayal? Like, oh my God. Not again.
Yeah. It's just going to be the million betrayals of Rhaenyra. Just every single misunderstanding and happenstance is going to look like, and to her credit, will feel like, because everyone's just being incompetent in getting the job done and killing people and killing dragons and things. So
how about Aemond just shanking that guy under the chin like that?
I called that one too. Some of the Aemond scenes are like so predictable, but not in a bad way. My mind just goes there and they pull it off nicely. But I'm like, as soon as he looks at that guy, he's like, "I'm gonna kill you," and I'm like, "Yeah."
And then he apologizes to his mom as if he like left his home. He had to go back for school and get his homework, and he's 15 minutes late. He's like, "I'm sorry. I left some homework at school. I had to kill him."
Yeah, but I think.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say it's kind of funny because fans really thought there was like a little picture of Alicent kind of standing there and you see two figures and people were like, is she officiating Aemond and Alice's wedding? And no, it was the scene right before he shanks the guy under the chin. And I'm like, oh, just...
I was thinking of Night's King and Arya when they showed us the super slow-mo, like side-by-side knife belt. And that reminded me of season 8. And then I was like, But
it made me think that he already didn't trust Alicent. I think he knows. He's intuitive, and she's a bad liar. I think he knows, but he's like, whatever. If my mom's gonna do me in, like,
I liked when he brought her in and they were kind of circling the stairs and she was just blathering on and on about her trip and how she secretly escaped. And I'm like, how many times do you think she rehearsed this on the road of like, okay, I'm going to say this, but I'm like, but she still just sounds like she's lying. Like, it's not very convincing. She was nervous for sure. And when she picked up the dagger, like, she's like, well, I kind of did this okay once. Maybe I can get away with another dagger sequence before she sees the berries. And it's like, oh, thank God. Because can you imagine how badly that would have gone down if she tried to charge at Aemond with a dagger?
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh no, there was that line, Aemond about Alicent. Sorry, I was trying to pull up my notes and the doc wouldn't come up and I was being frustrated about Google Docs. Aemond said, Alicent has always held her secrets, most of them poorly hidden or something like that. So like that was a very revealing line. It's like, oh, okay, he knows who his mom is, basically. Yeah, she's a bad liar.
Yeah.
Very bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think it's kind of a funny interpretation of like, in Fire and Blood, people are like, oh, Alicent is this amazing game player. And then for them to kind of interpret that in the show as she's actually not as good of a game player as she thinks she is. And people can kind of transparently see through her BS quite a bit. I think that's kind of funny.
Just a minute ago, Tim was pointing out potential symbolism Easter egg with Nightshade, Aemond eating Nightshade because that's like shade of the evening. And so we have Daemon eating weirwood paste and then Aemond with the Nightshade. I'm not sure if that's happy accident or intentional, but it's another Night King symbol, so...
It's the same as, I watched this video that was going into the costumes and they showed Ormond's armor and it has all these figures of the Faith of the Seven all over it and they have the High Tower and then right under it is the Stranger. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting to put the symbol of the Stranger hidden underneath the High Tower.
He lives in the fused Blackstone Fortress in all the tunnels.
Yeah, accidental doomy symbolism,
Rhaenyra was betrayal maxing. They're doing a good job of showing us Rhaenyra going like into this darker, more like not unhinged, but just like frantic and what's the word when you're paranoid but it's right, like just giant headache. But you're feeling sorry for her, but also observing her making some poor choices. But yeah, it's tough, man. She's in a tough position. And people are keeping secrets. Like Mysaria is all like, but Damon, he kept a secret from you, and we're all like, yeah, so did you. Also, at the small council, when Torin was like, I feel like I'm being set up as some sort of scapegoat, she's all like,
yeah, like, yeah. I mean, it cracked me up too of Rhaenyra just being like, well, what do you want me to do about it? What, like, and he's like, come on now. It was just very comedic. And I like too how she was just like, Sabbatha, get out of here. Go take Harrenhal. I don't care. Just leave.
Oh, that's what I always wanted.
Yeah, I'm trying to save my Mysaria rant, but I still hate her. I just hate her. I still want the same thing I've always wanted, which is to fire her. Like, I still haven't forgiven her for spending all that energy on that tea, which amounted to nothing. It like Rhaenyra still found out you couldn't use it to your advantage. Like Alan has done more. Like she's like focused on the wrong thing, and once again, like it's so messed up that she's trying to mess with Rhaenyra's head in this way. Like someone who's like a wise counselor would counsel Rhaenyra to like expend her resources to like find the rider of Sheep Stealer, not immediately go to like Damon. Like don't like you could see that she's like teetering off the edge, and like Mysaria is just like feeding into it. And her being a top, the first thing I wrote was that Rhaenyra said a few lines just before that you're trying to make me in your image. And like as soon as she flipped over, it was like exactly that Mysaria is trying to like use certain form like in her image is where I'll stay with that. But
she almost got fired. Like she manipulated her way, but she was this close to getting fired there.
Well, and I was going to say, Nettles, I agree with you. I think Mysaria has actually been kind of bad at her job. If her job is to advise Rhaenyra and tell Rhaenyra secrets, she's been kind of bad at that. She's been keeping secrets from Rhaenyra. She's not doing a good job at procuring secrets of what is going on. Like, you think about Varys. Varys had eyes everywhere. Like, and Littlefinger had eyes everywhere, to the point to where they knew when Catelyn Stark was coming all the way to King's Landing. I'm like, I don't think Mysaria is reporting anything like that. She's not seeing anything like that, to the point to where she's not even very good at manipulating Rhaenyra, because like we were saying, she almost got fired. It wasn't until she threw it back a little bit at Rhaenyra and was like, yes, you're such a good queen. You're the best queen ever. I love you so much, that Rhaenyra was kind of like subdued a little bit. So yeah, I don't know where it's, and like she was rattled too by Madame Sylvie. I'm like, hey, if any other person can rattle you in your job, like you're not doing
like even Ormond's whispers, he mentioned, oh, my whispers have brought me this word. And what did his whispers bring? News that Ulf had been slapped by Daemon. He knew down to the detail. He was like, you're wearing those blue jeans with the cowboy boots. Like he knew the exact outfit that he was wearing. And he was able to relay that information back to Ulf and use it to turn him to his side. He's just gained a dragon to his side because of the whispers. He said, my whispers. Mysaria, where are your ears in the Hightower camp?
Exactly. And even Corlys was like, oh, I've been out here and men are saying that Tyland lives. Tell that to Rhaenyra. Mysaria should be the one figuring that out and telling that to Rhaenyra. Like, it's just crazy that news is coming to Rhaenyra from all different sources and seemingly not through Mysaria. So
I had to laugh. You guys tell me if you thought of this. When Sylvie was pressing Mysaria, and Melon Musk, I'm going to get your super chat. I saw it. Don't worry. When she was pressing Mysaria, be like, oh, look at you. You're in the high halls. You still think you represent the people? Because she's basically questioning her street cred. Mysaria's like, oh, I'm still champion of the people. And they're like, oh, that dress costs more than I make in a year. And so I really thought of the modern political arguments on both right and left. Nobody get offended. It's just a dynamic. But like the people on the fringes, like the hardcore leftists or the far righties, we're always having this debate. I just gave myself away. I'm a far righty. No, I'm a far lefty. Point is, it's a question of like, are these political parties too broken to achieve reform working through them? Should we start our own party? Should we try to destroy the system and have revolution? And then at the end of the day, you end up coming back to the party because like this is the path to power. They have the levers on power. If we can elect Bernie, if we can elect whoever outsider that we have, Tucker Carlson next. The point is, I'm doing a bad job.
Oh my.
The point is, you see what I'm saying? Like, you work through the system or work outside the system. And Mysaria is making that inside the system plea. She's like, well, look, this is where power is. I haven't forgot where I came from. I do have a nice dress, but that's what you have to wear in order to work in the White House. And so, yeah, I was just dying the whole time.
Yeah, and I think too, and I think I've mentioned this before in previous videos of mine. I have always thought that Madame Sylvie is the show's version of Sylvena Sand, and if that is the case and that is the route they go with it, then yeah, with Mysaria being that plea for the internal in the system, Sylvena Sand, without giving too much away, will be that plea for outside of the system kind of reform. So,
Greyways Tim,
Yeah.
I love you. I am possibly happy that you are not with a microphone in front of your hand after everything that I
Oh
just
my
said,
God.
although I do love you.
I'm gonna go back and watch this video and read the chat. I will say, even though I hate Mysaria, I do love that she gave Rhaenyra what she was looking for, which was like reassurance. Like, because when she was talking to Helena had the option of just telling her, "You will be queen," like just to end the conversation or just to be nice. You know how Allison always lies to everybody, like just saying what she thinks they want to hear. Helena was like, "No, I'm not giving you that satisfaction." So Rhaenyra in every scene keeps looking for like reassurance, like, am I doing the right thing? Reassure me, reassure me. No one does it. So Mysaria does at the end meet that need by reassuring her and telling her big lies. But you don't mix business with pleasure, Mysaria. You don't have to seal every deal with the cookies.
She, like I said, she was this close to getting fired. I think she went to like, she knew she needed something other than just political arguments. So she stroked her hair and told her she was a good queen. It was a lot of hot air she was blowing. It was like Damon level, where you're gonna be queen for 1,000 years, and your children and the dragons and all that. It was just
Yeah.
smoke and mirrors.
But it worked.
It worked. It reminds me of last season when Rhaenyra and Daemon are fighting, and she says, "Do you accept me as your queen?" It's like Rhaenyra, I think Mysaria in this moment sees that she wants reassurance, and I think it goes back to what Madame Sylvie told her of like, "Hey, once a blank, always a blank. That's all they're ever going to see you as." And I think Mysaria in this scene is leaning into it of like, "Well, fine, that's how I'm going to get what I want," which is, it's a tried and true tool that she is very willing to lean back on. And yeah, she basically just is a yes man to Rhaenyra and telling her everything she wants to hear, which I don't think will be good for either party in the end. I think it's going to lead to ruin for both of them.
Yeah, and if you're about to get fired, guys, don't try to seduce your boss. That's not going to make it better, generally speaking. Tim, by the way, you can get your jokes off in the chat. And in all seriousness, it seems like you have been enjoying the show more lately, and I was going to ask you if you want to come on next week for our big season wrap-up. So, like, what do you guys think?
Do it.
I get Tim comments every week. Where's Tim? We miss Tim. I miss him too. I want him back. Just, I have to watch my mouth. See, that's the thing is if I break the rules even a little bit, Tim's like, "Oh, we're breaking the rules, are we?" And then he says the funniest stuff that,
Funny. So one of the big themes this episode is like the dragon will change you. Like we see it in almost every montage. Do you guys think that applies to Ulf, or do you think he was just born that way? And I'm specifically referencing his quote when they're like, "Oh, they're not gonna laugh at you anymore." He's like, "No, they will burn." Like that, the type of person who thinks about burning people rather than just be satisfied that they saw that you won in life. He's not satisfied with that. They have to be like extinguished all the way. So do you think he was born like that, or do you think it's like the dragon will change you?
I think it's a little bit of both. I'm always a very big fan of nature and nurture having a part to play. I think, there's maybe something in who Ulf is as a person, but also something very much in how he's been raised, and then given an immense godlike power, and then feeling like he's not been given what he's owed with that godlike power. Like, I think it's a cocktail of all of those things. And I wouldn't say that it's just the dragon, given that we do see other people like Adam thus far that have been given a dragon and also have, lived a somewhat seemingly difficult life, being illegitimate in that way. And yet he's not like, I'm going to burn everyone because I'm not being named a legitimate heir by Rhaenyra. I think it's a little bit of a lot of things with Ulf, I think.
Yeah, that was a scary scene. One of the only time we've seen him actually be serious is when he's like, "Nah, they will burn." Like he's got a real grudge, and yeah, and then to agree with the chat, it's like the dragons are a metaphor for power. Power corrupts, so I think that follows that. There's some of it that's like a magical thing, and some of it's just like, well, think how you would act if you had a dragon, Yeah, Ormond and Otto are giant a-holes even without a dragon. You don't need a dragon. You just need any sort of power or privilege, and then it can happen.
But I like seeing Aemon like working out. Like he's one of those gym bros, like no days off. Even though he has like no ribs at this point, like he looked pretty bad. But he was up practicing because he just has to, like the discipline it takes. Like I like that they're being consistent with showing us nuggets of like his personality and who he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're becoming a rallying point for the Mysaria hate. Yeah, not everybody loves Mysaria. Could they be setting up?
Misery.
Yeah, they might be. They might be.
She brings me misery. The name is so apt.
Yep, Misery, the white worm. And I like that, we see her in this episode too in just this like very regal, fine white gown that really just was juxtaposed to Sylvie, where she, like you said, she like looked her up and down and was like, look at how you're dressed now. Like, who even are you anymore?
So Tim is acknowledging my missed call. Thank you, Tim. I was about to show my call to be like, I called him earlier to invite. No, yeah, we'll get Tim back on next week. And many weeks thereafter. By the way, Tim, Arashai live stream is my most watched live stream. Now that I have taken down the Duncan Egg reread streams that Tim and I and Sean did that went completely viral. I had one of those reread streams get like several 100,000 views. It was a weird, we could not, part 2 was like 6,000 views and part 1 was like 200,000. We had no idea. Anyways, Tim, you're a dynamo. Yeah, if you guys don't know, like, many of my best streams is me and Tim just going to town. So
we love you, Tim. So I just want to be a broken record and saying that I just love Daeron scenes. You know how we love being over in the Hightower camp, and if you feel like you're cheating, but it's fun over there. They're giving drama. They're giving a lot. But one thing that I remarked on this episode is that, like, when I was reading the books, I saw Darren's character kind of like Robb Stark, like that. I just assumed that he was actually like a good Hightower, like a noble young man, capable, trying to do the honorable thing, getting into the fight with his dragon, and like making his way to King's Landing and possibly not making it, just like Robb. And I remember Robb obviously being compared to Daeron, the young dragon, because he was like the young wolf. So it's like, this is another Daeron who's kind of like has like that Robb Stark kind of like march and like nobleness. And I was happy to see that on screen because it's what I imagine reading the books, right? But that's where the comparison ends, because this is almost like a mirror, because like we're seeing what it's like when a psychopath like Ormond is pulling the strings of a noble and capable young man, right? This is like a horror story version of Robb Stark's progress.
Yeah, and you can see the brewing rebellion. He's like, I could just surrender. I know I could fly off on my dragon, and then without me, he won't be able to press. Like, he's thinking about what he can do to sabotage Ormond's plan. Like, it's coming. And this is what happens when you abuse somebody and repress them. Like, they act like a whipped dog right up until they don't, right up until they bite and they snap. And he's got a dragon, and you put a crown on his head. Again, metaphorically, at least the coin, the kid on the coin has a crown. But yeah, Tim, exactly. Your Uthor voice is offline. That is why it went viral. Obviously, it was your Uthor Underleaf voice. He had like, Nettles, have you ever heard Tim? It's like a Frenchman. He made Uthor Underleaf French, and it was such a success. It really worked. But yeah, I had to take him down, guys. The publisher of A Song of Ice and Fire, is it Random House or Penguin or something? They came after me for reading the whole chapter. And I was like, oh, cool. I only have 110 of these chapter reread streams. I got an actual copyright strike, first one I've ever gotten. And if you get 3 of those, your channel gets nuked. So that's why I took down all of those streams, because I didn't know if they were just going to start pinging all of those streams. So they're all down. I'm going to put them up on Patreon as audio eventually. But yeah, that's what happened. People have been asking, so that's the answer. And real quick, I will just say subscribe to everyone's channel. We're out here working hard for you guys. If you like what we do, please do hit subscribe. Estella's got videos every week, and Nettles sometimes has videos.
Yeah, it's worth it to follow me. Just follow.
It is.
I've got some pretty good videos.
Well, but if they haven't seen your past content, you do have a bunch of content that is very funny.
Yeah.
So that's it. Appreciate y'all's support. We know you have choices out there. People who start their streams on time, apparently. I just had a thought. We talk about Daron looking like Allison. It reminds me of Misery talking about his chestnut mare. Mysaria, you mean? Who was talking about the chestnut mare?
I don't remember.
I don't either. Anyway, let's go back to the super chat that I've been neglecting.
Are we talking about Viserys in season 1? Talking about, remember how he was like, "Oh, I had a horse and it, and
right."
And then the foal was,
Yes, that
totally
was not
color.
scientifically accurate.
Yeah.
Well,
that was not. Okay, so where are we here? Oh, we got a bunch. Okay, let's get through some of these. Where was Melon Musk? There we go. Helena's dream of the long night is so much better than the rubber mask in Damon's dream. Are you talking about the White Walkers? Those were the B White Walker masks. Like, they should have just gone with the old ones. Those were horrible. They were.
They did look kind of off. I was like, what is happening here? What are these wonky eyes on these
what are you
others?
spending the money on?
Yeah, it's kind
Spend
of
the money
goofy
right.
looking Night King, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Just use the same mask. Anyway, Night King looked cool. The problem was he didn't have any damn lines. He looked cool though. And then let's see. Sunfire, Dreamfire looked awesome. Yeah, I really hope we get to see Dreamfire again, but it might not be until next season with the Dragon Pit stuff. Caraxes didn't kill Sheepstealer because David didn't want it. I read that one. That's right. The small detail of both Aegon and Sunfire having burns on the same side of their face is such a cool nod to the bond they share. Yeah, and the same way in the books, too. Like I said, it's important symbolism. What does the gray horse mean? You got to ask Arya. We're all still pondering that, Becky. I don't think it's a pale mare Daenerys reference, because I just don't see how to make that make sense. Maybe meant to evoke the Revelation vibes, but I think it was just a random thing.
It was Arya's Uber.
There you go. And that'd be cool if somebody had an Uber and they labeled their car Pale Mare. You went around and picked people up. Wouldn't do very well, probably. In GOG Season 3, Joffrey talks about what happens with Sunfire and redacted in detail, so it would be odd of them to change it. Oh, we were talking about the ending of the whole thing.
Maybe in the spoiler section, maybe we talk about that.
Let's do that. Let's try to remember that, yeah. What was your favorite part of the episode? The eclipse for me. There you go. Easy out.
The dragon fight. Let me steal that one.
The dragon fight would be so sad. I liked seeing Dreamfire, so I'm gonna go with that.
I just did not like. I don't like seeing the dragons attack each other. It makes me very upset.
But it made me feel so like a very strong
did.
emotion.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, my gut was
upset. That was my emotion. Was upset. Yeah. Forget Team Black or Team Green. I'm Team Dragon. Exactly. That's the only rational.
I know.
And to me too, when Daemon kind of rolled off and Caraxes stopped attacking, I know it's like it could be because, Daemon stopped telling him to attack, but I kind of saw it a little bit as like the dragons don't really want to be fighting each other. They're kind of just doing what they're told, and they're kind of going off their writer's emotions of like, once Daemon got knocked off, Caraxes stopped and was like, nudging him, and he's like, "Hey dad, what's up?" And Sheepstealer was able to kind of slip away. But to me, it just confirmed it's like the dragons don't want to be doing this. They want to just be out there being dragons.
I think there's a range. Like if you look at like Grey Ghost and Sheepstealer, Like Sheep Stealer eats sheep, but not the shepherds. Grey Ghost just catches fish. Cannibal causes a lot of trouble. Probably varies somewhat, I think. But for the most part, yes, the Targaryens are the ones yoking up the dragons and pitting them against each other. Otherwise, they would be making sweet dragon music in the cave. Lots of snorting and whistling and stuff.
I do like every time Cyrax shows up, Caraxes has a specific noise that Caraxes makes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that kind of clicking, whistling. I feel like it's only reserved for when Caraxes sees Cyrax.
Cat calling that poor dragon. Wow.
Basically.
Allison is like Richard III, reputation as a master schemer. Reality was probably just stumbling from problem to problem by the skin of his teeth. There's a thin line between stumbling from problem to problem and being a political schemer. Max Morrow, scene of the week, gotta be Sunfire's return. Why is Thailand such a goat too? By the way, love the cosplay Estella. The actor is bringing a lot to Thailand. He doesn't have a ton of lines, but like it's been a slow burn with that character. Like at this time, he's been in a lot of scenes and we just kind of know him by now. He's been with the pirates. He got knocked off into the water. He's been in small council meetings with a bunch of different people. And now he's just like, I want to go to Casterly Rock, you guys.
Yeah. Well, and too, it's like Aegon hasn't even been the nicest to him. I think about back in the small council when Jaehaerys was like messing with him and he's like, he wants a pony ride. Give him a pony ride. I'm like, Aegon's been kind of crappy to Tyland. And so for Tyland to still stick it out and be like, that's my man. I'm going to stick beside him. You know, we're going to ride off into death in this moment. I respected that.
Definitely.
Jefferson Hall. He's
the actor's doing a great job. Especially since he played such a different role with Jason. He already showed his range season 1, showing how different the brothers were.
Yeah, there were more references to book lore too, with the like, you know, if you give us up your gold, you'll die with your ears still attached or whatever. With Helena's storyline so far, do you think? Oh man, there's just spoilers everywhere. We'll come back to Helena. We'll come back.
I really thought when they showed again, I think they showed it was Tom Tangletongue again when he was telling them, he's like, no, we're leaving this area. You guys can't be here. I thought they were going to go with him. You know, I didn't expect Aegon and Tyland to just stay there.
I didn't either. But once they did, I was like, okay, I can see where this is going. But even given that I expected what was going to happen, the way they did it was still delightful. So yeah,
for sure.
It was realistic when like the men just left. They're like, yeah, you know what? We're not going to die. Like, see ya.
Oh, Jay, that's a great observation. Mysaria, we just said she was almost about ready to get fired. She turned to sexual manipulation. And this is after Sylvie told her a W word will always be a W word to them. So she's kind of like embracing that a little bit.
That's what I mentioned earlier. Yeah,
Okay.
I said, she said a blank will always be a blank. And I think Mazzaria is embracing that. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to go back on my tried and true old tricks. You know, if that's what they see me as, that's what I'm going to do to get to the top of what I need to do. That's kind of the vibe I got. So.
Well, I agree with you. And I'm sorry that I missed that. But yeah, it's good. I'm glad you connected those two, Jay, and also Estella, because that's definitely meant to. It sucks. It makes it feel like she's manipulating, but it's like, man, that's shitty.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work. Loving the post-game shows. I do think Mysaria's, and I don't mean to just set you off, Nettles, by continuing to talk about her, but I'm just kidding. I think she is like, she's trying to do her best. And if you think about it, the position she's in is tough. To go back to the political thing, it's like you're an outsider, you're from the streets. Now you're in the halls of Congress. You're trying to stay loyal to your roots, but you're also getting slowly inculcated into the system. And yeah, she doesn't seem like she always knows what she's doing. Like with the catching the moon tea thing, she was right on the fence with turning them in and then decided not to. And she's definitely trying to undermine Daemon, which Rhaenyra called her on right before making out with her.
Well, and it's interesting because the actress, is it Sonia
Mizuno?
Sonia Mizuno, she said that this season, her and Damon, Mazzaria and Damon, are kind of like the two sitting on Rhaenyra's shoulder, whereas Damon is kind of, hey, we need to go burn Tumbleton. We're dragon riders. We need to do this. Mazzaria is like kind of, no, we need to focus on the people and food and all these things. You know, she's kind of positioning herself as being like the angel on Rhaenyra's shoulder. But I think in this episode, and now with her kind of doing some stuff for her own benefit, it's like, oh, are you really though? You know, and with what Sylvana Sand was saying, like, are you really speaking for the people, or are you trying to advance your own position? Like, what actually do you want? And I think we're starting to see those cracks. So,
and thinking about it, it's okay for Missaria to be like inept, like because that's cool. Like not everybody is like super genius, like best at their job, right? People mess up, but it's just because like in the books, like it was giving Tiana of the Tower, so that's kind of what I was expecting because a lot of the things that they credited to Missaria in the books made a big difference in the war. So that's kind of what I'm willing to see.
So two things from the chat. It's Sonoya Mizuno. And thank you, chat. And now that Sabbath of Frey has been cut loose from the small council, Black Alley's hanging out in the Riverlands. Hasn't had any lines yet.
Ooh, yeah, we'll see.
Our first line will be fish pie.
But I was gonna say,
I think Sabbath of Frey is a top. Sorry, no, go ahead, Estella. Try to say what you were gonna say. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think with Missaria and with Alicent, it is just that difference of like Alicent also in Fire and Blood is listed as this like political schemer. There's that picture of her in the room like commanding everyone. And with Missaria, it's like, we're told that she's this mysterious, amazing mistress of whispers, and so it is a bit of a disconnect to see her not be that competent. I would like to see it. It is a little bit like, okay, I see what they're doing, but
yeah, she failed. Like she called Sylvie in to try to like do what Rhaenyra's not doing. She wants to get the word on the streets. She wants to show that the crown is still sensitive to those needs. And Sylvie kind of just threw it in her face. It was a little I'm not sure if that made total sense to me. But I'll have to go back and watch that scene again. I feel like there might have been a line that I missed or something. Like, why did Sylvie turn on her so quickly? And yes, Black Alley and Sabbath of Frey, canon name is Black Sabbatha. That's correct.
That's awesome.
It does seem that George was making the Black Sabbath reference. Yeah, so.
No, but why did she turn on Misery? I think it's because she knows her. It's cluing us as the audience into a little bit of the White Worm's personality, and like the same way that Rhaenyra is feeling inadequate, she's feeling inadequate too. And she did need to call her old coworker into the office to show her my views and my wall-to-wall glass beautiful office, because she just needs that boost too. Everyone here is suffering from low self-esteem, and that everyone needs a boost. Aemon, definitely Rhaenyra, even Daemon now, Rhaena for sure. Misery's there too. So Sylvie just caught on to that. They're coworkers. They know they were work wives, right?
Well, she even said to her, she was like, what, did you bring me here to try to like, for me to grovel and be like, oh my gosh, and fawn at your feet of, wow, you're so great now. And oh, thank you so much for considering me. And oh, you're in such a high position. Like she saw through it immediately, like you're saying,
But also Sylvie is foolish because this is a good deal, because her options are Rhaenyra's not taking any requests, and so nobody can talk to her, or you can funnel it through me. And she's like, no, I will not funnel it through you. Like, girl, like that's your only choice. So just take it. Like, I don't know why she had to be like,
Okay, so I can see both sides of that now. Yeah, the chat is saying, she's, Mysaria is trying to put on airs like she's the queen, meeting with her in the throne room. I'll hear your needs or whatever. I still say like Sylvie should have been trying to exploit that relationship there.
Yeah.
But she kind of just turned her nose up at it, be like, oh, I'm not impressed at all. You're just a class traitor. So.
Well, it makes me wonder if Sylvie has something else up her sleeve of like, I don't need to listen to, of like, no, I'll get things done in my own way. Maybe we'll see.
maybe she's not a Rhaenyra fan in general, and she kind of thinks maybe the Greens were better. What's Sylvie's relationship to the Greens when they were in King's Landing?
Well, she was
Aemon One Eye.
Right,
yeah,
of course.
famous.
Duh. Yeah, so she's probably just not really a Rhaenyra fan.
Yeah. Well, and I think it was through Mazzaria that like they were kind of telling Sylvie to kind of push some of the propaganda that was happening in King's Landing during the blockade of like, oh, go in the taverns and say, oh, I heard that, some of my girls went up to the Red Keep and they're having a lot of parties up there, even though we don't have food. So like she's been pretty privy to Mazzaria's schemes and kind of working with them since season 2. So I could see why she's getting a little fed up now.
Oh, Sylvie and Mysara used to be rival madams. Yeah, that's true. Okay. So it's like, oh, you think you're better than me, kind of. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Now that rounds out the picture. I think I understand it now. And yeah, some people are wondering, so Estella, you keep saying this could end up being the character that sponsors Game and Pale Hair. What's that character?
Her name is Sylvena Sand, and she has a paramour named Essie, and that is Game and Pale Hair's mother. Okay. This is a little bit too cracked. I don't really think this is what it is, but I've always thought it would be fun if they brought Copper Penny back. She was the brothel dancer with the pillow last season. I was like, it would be fun if she was Game and Pale Hair's mom. But
is that the one we all thought was a Targaryen and it was just some... Yeah. Okay.
Her, yeah. So
some commoner, not even a real Targaryen. Listen to me. Disgusting class language coming out of my mouth. Tim also says, I would say Sylvie might produce a certain commoner child, but I don't think we're getting that storyline. The only thing is they did show us Aegon having bastards in Flea Bottom, so they could, but I mostly think, they're the Moon of Three Kings, it'll be a footnote if we get it. It'll be some quick thing. We're running low on time here. So
a scene for me, I thought that was interesting. I called it the guess who's coming home for dinner scene, which was Alicent, and
most
Aemon.
Awkward dinner ever.
Yeah, I mean, it was
even
like
worse than the season 1 dinner.
Huh?
It's season 1, episode 8, when they were all at the dinner, and Viserys is like, this is all settled now.
Yeah. Definitely. But also every like sitcom from Seventh Heaven to like Family Matters, where it's like, oh, the son brings home a girlfriend and like nobody likes her, like, and they even have, and then they use another.
Who is this
trope.
woman?
Yeah, and then they use another trope, which is like when you're dating a guy who lives with his mom and you're just trying to get them to leave. You're like, oh, but dear, she could go to Old Town. Like, send her to the nursing home in Old Town. Like, you can't live with your mom. Like, send her away.
I like how Alice was kind of losing her composure. She was like getting visibly frustrated. She needs to leave. It was funny.
It made me laugh too. Like they were eating some very random items as well, where I was like, I see like 3 blackberries on a plate. I see I'm like, who foraged this meal? Like, did Alice and Aemon go out and like pick a bunch of stuff?
The owl went berry picking.
The owl went, and then like Aemon holding both his mom and his girlfriend's hands, like.
I found it to be delightful. Obviously, we're a ways away from Fire and Blood here, but I thought it was great. So
yeah, through all the chaos, they can have normal family Sunday dinners, right?
Yeah, if you're from. A lot of us are from backgrounds where we've been to a lot of awkward dinners with people who don't like each other. That's all I can say. I know I've been to a few.
And the line, too, that Allison had where she's like, so your friend, Allison, Aemon goes, she's not my friend. And she goes, oh, okay. Like, okay.
Be quiet, Mom.
Girlfriend. Okay, your friend. She's not my friend, Mom.
Who is she? He's like, she is a lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lady, Harrenhal is hers for the nonce, and she saved my life. It's almost like Aemon's like, yeah, who is she? Have I been dreaming this whole time, or
And Alice is like very awkward. Like, she said something along the lines of like, oh, I kind of do whatever I want, and then drank from her cup in a way that Alicent was just like, who the heck is this? What is happening here? This is insane. It was just very fun.
I definitely hated Alice less this episode, especially at the end when she's like, oh, you're stupid. That was like The Office, like where she looks at us in the camera and she says, "Are you seeing this? I told him."
I have found Allison to be very, very funny this whole time because of and I've made several videos at this point, but just like my background with religious people, like false religious people who are always putting on a false front and pretending at piety and moralism, and it's just like, you're a snake and you're a
Yeah.
bad liar, and it's just, I'm endlessly entertained.
And a kinslayer?
She's yeah, she's a bad person. She's a bad person, basically. That's, like I say, I do think there is a Targaryen stereotype here that is enabling Alicent to cut her children loose like this. Like, oh, they're mad, they're crazy, they rode the dragon, they're insane like Daemon, and so she kind of, that helps her wash her hands of it. But yeah.
I was gonna say too, someone mentioned it like all the way back up in the chat. They're like, so what is Alicent gonna do now? Is she just gonna walk all the way back to King's Landing by herself now that her escort is dead? Like, what is her plan?
I kind of feel like Alice is going to catch her before she gets far. The barn owl at least will keep an eye on her. You know,
gonna stick that owl on her to attack her, and Alicent's gonna tumble down a hill.
The goat and the owl just keep walking in front of her in the path, be like, bah.
Yeah, Alice is still there. She gave herself a 30-second head start. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, it was Gawain's horrible, really bad day, and this next episode is gonna be Alicent's horrible, really bad day of just trudging through the Riverlands, getting bit by mosquitoes, and Alice is just immediately gonna be behind her, coming to get her. You know, I don't think
she'll ride Sheep Stealer next. No, stop.
Yeah,
stop. It seems that Helena suggests that having a dragon makes the rider more fiery, aggressive, violent as a result. Yeah, it's a dragon. It's a hot-blooded dragon. So yeah, I would think having a psychic link with like a grizzly bear would make you more aggressive too. So, and this checks out. The skin changers say that, you know, Orel says, oh, you know, careful skin changing birds. You'll get all moony-eyed or whatever. You don't want to be on the ground anymore.
Yeah, I think the bond of, you know, like I said, it's like nature and nurture. And I think it goes both ways of like the rider affects the dragon affects the rider, the emotionality of the rider. You know, it goes back and forth for sure.
I don't think Ormond threw up because of the violence. He was okay when he made Daeron kill that guy. He was throwing up from the smelly dudes. That could be. I didn't think about that.
I can see that.
Maybe it was the smell of all the guts and stuff.
They were like covered in mud and poo and stuff. They were stinky. So.
Because the other guy just got stabbed once and then the dragon roasted him. This was stinky. There was lots of entrails happening. So I've heard that's stinky. Thoughts on Lares this week? He was just trying to peace out. Well, I guess he did peace out. He hobbled off, and I don't know. I didn't really have deep thoughts on him.
Yeah, consistent.
Just try. He propped up Aegon as long as he could, and then I guess he just sort of gave up on it when he saw that Aegon wanted to die.
Yeah, he's an opportunist. I think it was trying to show that like Thailand is a real one. Laris kind of really isn't. You know.
I like when Aegon was like, Larry speaks truly. He would not be. He's kind of like, yeah, get him out of my sight. F that guy. It was sort of sarcastic is how I read that one. If we were seeing Alice commute. What's that?
I'm just saying I'm not mad. He was right. Like, he's a cripple. What's he going to do?
If we were seeing Alice communing with a green man a few episodes ago, what does it mean if she's making Aemond a White Walker? Well, she's not really making Aemond a White Walker. It's just symbolism. She's using him for the same reason she wanted to use Daemon, which is to access power. And she might have some more magical designs. She's got those eggs. Maybe she's trying to get a child, you know, and an egg hatched, and then she won't have any more need for dad, whether that was Daemon the first time or Aemond this time. That's kind of how I see it. Like, she wants a kid and a dragon, and after that, she doesn't really have much use for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was going to say, going back a little bit too, I felt like with Aegon and Laris too, Aegon was kind of like, yeah, go. I don't need you. You shouldn't even be here, but kind of hoping a little bit that Laris would stay a little bit. That was the vibe of like, yeah, you can get out of here. But to me, I think it did hurt him a little bit for Laris to be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go. Bye. But yeah, with the Alice thing, I know you mentioned it in your Aemond video, the idea of, you know, Alice possibly doing some type of a blood magic thing, you know, without getting too spoilery, She might be wanting to utilize someone like Aemond or something for some dragon hatching blood magic type stuff. I could see that going down.
Yeah, it's more mysterious in the books, but it does seem like they are working with some of the same ideas with her whipping out those eggs. And by the way, if you want the Rhaena back history about those eggs and stuff, you can check out Estella Graves' video from a couple days ago where she went into that.
Yep.
Let's see here. I think I skipped over some super chats.
I think I have a poll idea.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Who has changed most from having a dragon? We can do like Ulf this episode, Rhaena this episode. We can put Daemon Rhaenyra if you guys want to. Like, whatever. What do you guys think? Or I guess Dragon Riders featured this episode to have.
Rhaena definitely...
She was feral when she was talking to her dad.
Can you go ahead and expand your thoughts there on Rhaena and how she's changed? I'm trying to answer your question mentally as you ask it.
When she got off her dragon and she was talking to to Daemon, after she said, "I don't control him," like she did seem to have like a fire in her eyes, like, you better listen to me. That's just how I read it.
Yeah, I think Rhaena has changed quite a bit having Sheep Stealer. I mean, she's had maybe the biggest physical transformation outside of like Aegon, being burned. But, Rhaena seems much more feral wild child now than she was before she had Sheep Stealer to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, she mostly kept her pain and anger inside before, and now she's saying it. And she stood up to Daemon when he came to try to talk her out of it. Like, she basically was like, no, I'm staying with him. And then she walked away from him. So, yeah, you could see the dragon putting some more courage, I guess, into her. And who was the other person you mentioned?
Ulf this episode, like just seeing how I will, like, no, I want to burn them all.
Yeah, he's never really been that kind of person before, has he?
Yeah. He's the one looking up big words to use in front of Rhaenyra, like, excuse me, miss, I've got these requests. Like, no, he was being pretty cute. He's not cute no more.
You're right. He's done with requests. He's ready to burn them all. Yeah.
Yeah, with Ulf, his character, like, he's got a basic inadequacy issue going on. Like, from the very beginning, he's somebody that's had to live on beg, borrowing, and stealing. He thinks that's how he gets ahead, by stealing some fruit from the vendor and stuff, like telling tall tales. He's doing all this because he feels very insecure about just like having safety, like having an identity. He does not have those things. And so like, even though we see him as like, oh, he just likes to drink and get on and stuff, like there's a pain in there. And now that Daemon has slapped him one too many times, again, in public in front of his crowd in Flea Bottom or whatever, like there's an anger there that's risen. And we saw it in that last line. It was very chilling when he's like, yeah, they're going to burn. Like, oh God, like this guy is going to be really vindictive, isn't he?
Yep.
It had shades a little bit of that scene with Littlefinger talking to Varys, and he said, oh, when you imagine yourself up there on the throne, are they all bowing down to you? And Littlefinger says, hard for them to bow when they don't have heads. It's very much that vibe of,
And speaking of Varys, like Varys having that horrible encounter with the Red Priest, Ulf had, so we could let our imaginations wander to the fact that he's probably had the same level of horror that Varys with the Red Priest. Like, so that could be saying a lot about who he is. Like, he's I don't want to say damaged, but he's not okay. He needs to go see that lady. Go to some therapy.
Here's my fourth option for you. It's
Helena. Alice. Wow, we're just.
Yeah, she caught herself a dragon. She's different now.
Yeah, and we kind of got a glimpse. We got a glimpse of who Helena could be too, because in that dream, the way she said "Dracarys," I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know you spoke Valyrian, girl. Like, she said it with power. I'm like, oh, Helena does have the capacity to burn them all. but she doesn't even want to unlock that. So she's not even going to risk riding the dragon because she knows it'll be unlocked.
We're gonna need to come back to those Helena dreams in the spoiler section. We're gonna need to call the spoiler section soon. Actually, is what I was gonna say, because we're pretty much there
for sure.
Let's see. What are the scenes? I can't pull up my notes on my phone because my Google Docs app is malfunctioning. But let's see. What other scenes have we not talked about? Before we do spoilers.
I don't know. Scroll through some of the pictures, maybe. But I hit all of mine, and I had mine in order.
They hit everything on these pictures. Tell us almost nothing. Like, they really were stingy with the pictures. Like,
but
shades of Ramsey here with the knife and the like giddy.
Yeah. For sure. I was going to say, someone had mentioned earlier in the chat, Alinda Massey being used kind of as a stand-in between Rhaenyra and Daemon, where she was like, no, stay in the room. I was like, that was really interesting, and her to just kind of brushing Daemon off and being like, it's late. You know. It
was very like letting Daemon know that she didn't really feel safe with him in the room. And it was like, no, you're going to behave, actually. We're going to have witnesses to this. And like, hopefully not all of us have been in that kind of situation before, but some of us probably have. Like, you got to talk to somebody. You don't know how it's going to go. You want a witness because you're not sure about it. Yeah, that definitely set the tone. You see Daemon look over and then sort of accept it, and he's acting abashed and basically begging forgiveness. Again, Matt Smith, like, you almost forget Daemon can have that side because he's so busy being aggressive and cutting people off in the meeting and throwing plates and stuff. But like, yeah, he finally got to say, like, to let out this guilt that he'd been hiding. It's like, yeah, I've been a bad father. Like, I've ignored her. I felt bad about it, and I was trying to protect her. Like, that was a very genuine moment. And that's why you see Rhaenyra being sympathetic to Daemon later in the conversation with Mysaria, being like, oh, he didn't have a design, like, against me. He was just protecting his kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting because in these past 2 episodes, we've seen, all of Rhaenyra's relationships, with Alicent grabbing her arm and her kind of like brushing her off of like, don't touch me. I'm mad at you. I'm sending you to Harrenhal. And then her kind of being mad at Daemon this episode, but then softening up on him a little bit. And then clearly Mysaria trying to get what she wants. I'm like, oh, you see the relationship ranking pyramid of like where Rhaenyra is ranking all of her situationships right now. Of like, like who's at the bottom of the pyramid right now. And for a little bit of this episode, it seemed like it was Daemon until that conversation with Mysaria. So
I think if I could make one major criticism of what Rhaenyra's done since taking the throne, the mistake is not binding the Velaryons to her tightly. The Velaryons are the biggest power base that isn't King's Landing or Daemon's Dragon, and she has not done a good job at keeping them tight. Like, Adam and Alan are both super competent, and Corlys is just like everything to Rhaenyra's cause, and she made her choice because of her own insecurity about her own kids and stuff like that. We understand the political concern there, but that was her biggest mistake, was pissing off Corlys and not legitimizing Adam and Alan, in my opinion.
Going
also,
back
they're
to
good kids. Like, come on.
I really appreciated Daemon's scenes this episode. And like, one of the reasons I give this episode a 9.9 is because of the pacing. Whatever this melting pot of these specific writers working with these specific directors and cinematographers, the pacing is perfect. Not too fast, not too slow. I enjoyed like a scene that you might deem inconsequential is Daemon flying to the Vale first and having that scene with Lady Jane. You might think, well, we didn't need that. We could have had him just fly straight and meet up with Rhaena and have it be one of those magical, like, oh, he just knew exactly where she was. But no, like, they're taking the time to kind of like pace it where we're seeing Daemon try and not things just happening because it needs to happen for the plot. Like, it's like we're home, Like,
I think it's kind of funny how Daemon has to keep coming back to the friggin' Vale. What he just hates it there,
Yeah.
That was very funny of him just shoving the guy out of the way and just barging through the doors of like, it's like they've been through this routine multiple times of Daemon just showing up.
I want more of these scenes. Like, it's not filler, but it just makes sense. So, like, people don't just keep appearing places. Like, Alicent really did appear at Harrenhal. My initial thought was like, This has to be a dream because she couldn't have been there yet. But then she does show up 5 minutes later, so it's like,
It was very quick. Yeah.
hmm
From show perspective, which dragon would you claim? I actually need
Ooh.
to, guys. I need to take a restroom break. Can you carry it for like 30 seconds here?
Yeah, sure. Well, well, let's answer the question: which dragon? Or no, Dave will want to hear that.
Yeah. No, we'll have to answer that question when we come back. I guess, I mean, yeah.
You want to talk about Helena's dream sequence? Like they opened with it, so they must have felt that this was an important enough scene to be the
Mhm.
opener.
For sure. And I mean, I was very confused at first. I mean, I definitely, it faked me out where I thought, oh, she's out in the courtyard. Like, what's she going to do? Is she going to go out and see her dragon? Like, I was very much wondering what was happening. And then, of
Yeah.
course, she woke up because Rhaenyra was like, Helena, wake up. I need to ask you a million questions. Um, but yeah, between that and her other dream sequence, I think it's really fun because we don't get these kind of magical dream sequences too often. The last big one I can think of was Alice and Damon last season. So,
Yeah, I like that Helena really wasn't afraid of Rhaenyra. Like she had a little bit of like when she was talking, she's like what? She's kind of like just holding back, rolling her eyes. So it shows that she is like confident. And I think it's because maybe she knows her end and she's like, nothing's gonna happen to me today. So I don't, I could, I could be as, whatever rebellious teenage sister as I want to you.
yeah. Well, and like I said too, she seemingly knows more than she's telling Rhaenyra because she told Aemond last season, Aegon will be king again and you'll be swallowed up in the God's Eye. And so Helena does know some things and she's clearly keeping that from Rhaenyra. So,
hmm All right, there's a question we need to answer about which dragon would we have going off of
Um,
the show only.
let's see.
Dang, I'm gonna have to say sheep stealer immediately.
That we would expect nothing less. I feel like Caraxes is too much of an obvious pick. Uh,
Yeah,
but
practice is small.
I've always liked Melis quite a bit. I like the fastest dragon, so I always had the option to get the hell out of there. And like the crown, like Melis seems like a well controlled dragon. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll go with Melis.
yeah. I love Sheep Stealer as well. We were just saying that my cat, Eileen, who I just put on my lap because she wanted up here, she's a rescue cat and she only has 3 legs and she's mean and she bites me and she's nasty. So she's really Sheep Stealer coded. So I love Sheep Stealer, but I love Dreamfire as well. I love any kind of really mystical, magical dragon. And man, Dreamfire looked so cool in this episode. Like purpley blue, crazy horns. I mean, how could you not love that dragon?
Cleo is a Dreamfire. My pink bird, she's a Dreamfire. Goose is a little bit like a runty sheep stealer, kind of like
Yeah,
more,
Yeah.
even more so. You know,
yeah.
that's what I got. That's what I got. Yeah,
Vermithor said,
Dreamfire's design did not disappoint. Definitely want to go back and look at that again carefully.
Sure.
Let's go ahead and declare it spoilers. And
Okay.
it's like declaring shenanigans, but you don't need a broom.
Mhm.
And real quick, Alicent seemed to be leaving Harrenhal, and Laris, I think, left Rook's Rest. Maybe they find each other. Wouldn't that be funny?
no, no thanks. Well, no, he's
Alicent,
lost his power.
Laris is all like, I see you have traveled here on foot. Where can I get my own Westeros jetpack? At Peeler Baelish's Jetpack Emporium.
Mm-hmm.
If you can find that. It's in Bravos. All right, so spoilers all, hear ye. Spoilers all, spoilers all. Let's talk about Helena. Again, spoilers all. Fire and Blood spoilers. End of the show spoilers. You're about to be spoiled. So, are they going to do something different? Obviously, her death in the books, it is mostly reported as a suicide. She jumped out of the window into the spiked moat or whatever. It's a very bad place to jump from. Or maybe she was pushed. So what's going on now? Something different? Are they bringing it to that place? You can see that she's being backed into a corner. It might come down to like ride your dragon. Someone's trying to make her ride her dragon or something. Or is this gonna be a dragon pit thing?
Yeah, or her trying to escape on her dragon or something. It's kind of what it looked like. It makes, and again, it kind of begs the question: how much of that do you think was a premonition of what will happen, or something that could happen? It depends on how fixed you think the timeline is, and
It was
like,
definitely in the dragon pit with the crowd storming in, and it's supposed
yeah,
to probably remind us of Melly's and Rainey's.
Yeah.
Is she going to
I
be
don't know.
caught in the dragon pit madness?
Yeah, earlier, I asked you guys if you thought she would ride a dragon, and like we stopped answering because it's getting into spoiler territory. But I kind of think she will. I think that's where I don't know. I'm picking up some signs that this is where they're going with it.
Somebody's
She
saying
shows
maybe
in
she'll
the.
jump from Dreamfire. Nettles, your good mic just switched off. You're on the laptop mic. So.
Okay, yeah. Mhm.
Um, but the thing is that like Joffrey falls from Cyrax at the Dragon Pit, so they probably won't do both of those things. However, I could
Mhm.
see if they're not going to do that with Joffrey, maybe they have Helena fall off her dragon or jump off somehow. I could see that.
yeah, because she said too, she's like, oh, I wanted to fly. I've always wanted to like flying, but it just gets too, and so maybe we see when she does try to fly, get on a dragon, it does become, something bad happens. Like maybe it's this kind of underneath this whole time she's kind of had this inkling of like something doomy happens when I ride a dragon. That's why she in the show has no taste for it. Maybe this will be, like you said, the Joffrey and the dragon pit moment. Maybe they'll be giving that to her instead. I could see that.
I really did love, besides the eclipse theory, long night shit. I really did like the vibe of that scene where it's like her children are there, are happy. It reminded me. Oh, I know what it reminded me of. It's Terminator 2 when Sarah Connor is watching the kids in the playground in the dream sequence, and she sees John Connor playing. She sees her younger self playing with the kid, and she's like, "Run, run!" And no
Yeah.
one can hear her. And then the nuclear holocaust comes, and everyone turns into ash and stuff. It was like that. It's like she's playing with chickens, and then we see the sun eclipsed and the snow, and it's just like, oh, it's all crumbling so fast.
Yeah, it definitely reminds me of Danny and Karth. Um, seeing vision because she saw what Rhaego would have looked like, kind of like
Mm-hmm.
different futures.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
and two, I mentioned earlier, I think maybe it's in style. Someone did a YouTube video recently that was going into all the costumes for this season, and they mentioned in it, they said that Ryan Condal told them when they were designing the costumes, like, this is a world with a lot of dragons, and once the dragons die out and leave the world becomes colder. So they are very tuned into that kind of, the seasons becoming off balance, the magic of that, the long night stuff. It seems like this season they were really even telling the costume designers like, hey, this is important to get across. So
White Walkers are Skynet. Yeah, you guys got it. You guys are picking up on it. Her kids were the same age in her dream. I think it's her heaven. Um, yeah, I didn't. I can't keep track of the. I mean, they're not very consistent with the ages of the kids, but Helena wargs into
Also,
Dreamfire, and she will burn the small folk. She won't be able to handle the devastation. Well, we don't. So obviously, that's speculative. We don't know if there is a dragon afterlife, like Second Life, that the Skin Changers have. There very well could be, though. So.
also speaking of spoilers, Alice, like they made sure to give her that line, "I want to give you a son." And if I remember, like she's supposed to be have been cited pregnant with Aemon right before he fights Daemon. So I wonder if they threw that line in to preface that she's gonna have something in her belly, one of
Yeah,
those
she is.
midnight children that Melisandre has.
Yeah, that's too delicious of a plot point. Fire and Blood leaves it hanging. Obviously, what happens to Alice and her child with Aemond. But
Hmm.
I don't know why you wouldn't leave it hanging here too and have the same effect of like, oh God, what's going to happen with them? And we don't know. Two
someone
Face
asked,
Sunfire. Yeah, it was like very Two Face, like Batman Two
yeah,
Face.
Someone asked, is Aemon's wig wavier now? Yeah, it's like he's not having like the fine kind of straightened hair of King's Landing. It's like you can see too he's not wearing his eye patch, and he's like, oh, we're gonna make a castle here in the rivers and the mud. He's in his like, this is his like natural era. Alice is turning him into a kind of a man of the woods, a nature man.
Good point.
We're seeing that.
Yeah. He crimped his hair. That's crazy.
Do we think they're implying Helena knows her line can't end until the second long night? I'm not sure why they're showing Helena long night stuff. Maybe it's just because that's what you see if you're a psychic Targaryen, and it's not that she's going to figure anything out. But after that scene that we saw with her entering Daemon's dreams and stuff, like, anything is possible. She could put some of that stuff together and maybe have something to say to Rhaenyra before her story is finished.
That is my one thing too that I wish would have gotten brought up. It's like Rhaenyra now knows that Helena's a dreamer. Like, I guess maybe she just hasn't had a chance to bring this up to Daemon at all. The fact that like Daemon did see Helena in a vision of some guy, like, I just want them to have one conversation. I want them to have one conversation about this.
Aemond was chopping wood, to your point about, he got his lumberjack status on. Was Daemon chopping wood too, or just doing carpentry? He was chopping wood, right?
Yeah. Daemon was definitely chopping wood.
That's what you do. You go to Harrenhal and you chop wood to like work off the demonic visions, right?
Well, it's all those fireplaces. Aren't there 100 fireplaces?
Yes, that's true. Hall of 100 Hearths. Correct. Is Laurie's thinking, I'm going to have to kill this guy? Hard to say. He just kind of slinked off. He was giving up on, obviously, manipulating Aegon back into power so that he had a puppet king. But it's hard to know what Laurie's is really after.
He's going to go be Team Black now. Because in the books, they kind of showed it that he was playing both sides. He left that gift of Otto, so he's like, not going to work. But it's too bad, because if he would have waited 1 minute, he would have seen that at least Aegon is capable of keeping them safe.
Well, it's kind of interesting, though, chopping wood at Harrenhal, because the great sin of Harrenhal is they cut down a bunch of weirwoods for the rafters and beams of the castle. So it's kind of like a bad nightmare. You just keep chopping wood at Harrenhal, like doing the Black Heron thing.
Ormond. Who's I had a question. Whose head was that on that pike?
That was Kristen.
That was Kristen, for sure.
I rewinded it. I'm like, is that supposed to be Kristen? It didn't look like him.
Yeah, it was Kristen.
Okay.
I think it was supposed to be him, based on in the book.
Yeah, it's been rotting for a minute. Your head wouldn't look great if it was rotting for 2 weeks either.
Okay.
He even still had the arrow in his cheek.
Okay.
Very rude. And then Ormond did not fail to needle Gwaine. Like, disrespect. It's like, oh, your friend died meaninglessly then, didn't he? Huh. Like, he just never passes up an opportunity to needle Gwaine about being a man kisser, I guess is how we would say that right now.
Yeah. And I like that Fabian... Sorry, go ahead.
I said he was right.
He was right. But I like that Fabian has been like, we are not dissuading any rumors between Kristen and Gawain. If y'all want to read into it that way, sure, yes, we're willing to go with it. That was the vibe between them. I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah, Kristen's just too depressed at that point to romance, no matter what your sex is. So
exactly. I think it was very much giving, like, bad relationship or a relationship kind of gone sour of like, you see this person is just never going to come out of it, just wasn't going to work out between them.
Yeah, where is Nana Vagar? Good question. Is she on the Isle of... Somebody tweeted like, oh, she's on the Isle of Faces. The children of the forest are doing a May Day thing and putting crowns of flowers on her head and stuff.
That's what we said last time. We were like, they're dancing around. No.
That's right. That was last week.
Yeah, that was us.
Maybe that tweet was copying my stream and I didn't even realize.
Yeah, we were being funny.
Yeah. We were. I remember. That was fun. That was a good one. All right. Well, what other spoilers did we have? I know there were some other spoilers.
We were talking about just the end of the show in general, that big elephant in the room of what are they going to do with that?
Right. And Vagar's just burning stuff. Like, we know, in all seriousness, we know that Vagar is burning stuff. But seemingly just kind of randomly. I guess she's just like hunting, or I just keep going back to the joke. She really thinks she's in Dorne, like just burning castles. Like they burnt every castle in Dorne 3 times, Aegon and Visenya, with their dragons. So I think she's just going, just like, oh, castles. Yeah, I'm supposed to burn those.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. In the books, because we get this long list of places that Aemond and Vagar burnt. And now we know it was just Vagar.
It's kind of funny. Just Rhaegar's default mode is just, I'm going to go burn some stuff.
Just let me know when you need me. I'll be out here doing my thing,
What are those circular vacuums that everyone has on their floor that cleans automatically?
Roomba.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cleaning up.
Or it's like when you just like get a goat, because a goat will just eat anything in your yard. They'll just go around and just, Vagar's just like, automatic. Yeah. Roomba, lawnmower vibes, just mowing down the Riverlands.
How do they wrap this up in 9 episodes? I really don't think it'll be that hard, honestly. A lot of the stuff is just going to be quick. Like the Hour of the Wolf will be 10 minutes of Cregan Stark. He'll be at the beginning of the episode for a few minutes, and then he'll chop some heads off, and then he'll say bye and marry Black Alley at the end, and they'll be off, and that's it. That's how you do it. So, I mean, like Black Alley hasn't said a word. Roddy Ruin has said 3 words. They're there, but they're not taking up a lot of time. I mean, some of these battles, we just see the aftermath. Like, yeah, they can do it. It's rushed. That's not to say it isn't rushed. Like, it feels a little rushed sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Would love more of Black Alley and the lads, and just seeing Cregan in general. But that was a season 2 thing of like, Jace was there for such a second, but it is what it is.
And Black Alley did sing. It's not a, yeah, I mean, kind of, yeah. Thank you guys for the after show fun. Of course, quite welcome. Are we going to see Mysaria's Walk of Shame by the story's end? Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. She does get Walk of Shamed.
Yeah. With it being so similar to such a famous Walk of Shame that we got in Thrones, I wouldn't be surprised if they do something different with her.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Great answer.
So how about Ormond and Daron? Okay, so in the books, Ormond is killed by Roddy the Ruin in battle at First Tumbleton. And then it's at Second Tumbleton when Adam Velaryon shows up with Sea Smoke, that Daron is caught in a burning tent. He can't even get to his dragon because it's a surprise attack, and he dies in the burning tent. It seems like they're going to change all of that, probably. What do you guys see coming with Daron and Ormond? What are they doing with Daron's brewing rebellion against Ormond? How's he going to rebel? Like, I feel like that's coming next week, right?
Yeah. I really can't predict, but I think they're setting us up very nicely. I just have like 100 different theories running through my head.
I actually don't think Ormond is going to die now that I think about it next week, because what's going to happen is Ulf is going to go over. We've all been looking at this Tumbleton thing like, what's Ormond's plan? He doesn't have a chance. But it's like once Ulf goes over, and probably Hugh as well, assuming they stick to the books, then it's going to be this big loss for Rhaenyra that people who haven't read the books will not have seen coming. And so I think the season's going to end with Ormond steepling his fingers and cackling in victory, essentially, and being like, now we're going to march on King's Landing. Because next season, we're going to be quickly moving into the place where Rhaenyra is fleeing the city and the dragon pit is happening and stuff. So I don't think that Daron will ultimately do his rebellion, because Ormond's going to win this battle. He's going to win Tumbleton, mostly, I think. And so I think they're going to roll the Daron Ormond thing to next season.
I agree.
I think about it.
They're not going to build them up this much.
Yeah, I think they definitely could. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if, with Ormond's line in this episode of like, oh, how can you stand the Targaryens? They're always going at each other and all this stuff. I wouldn't, because he said, about Corlys last episode of like, oh, well, he's not, a striver. He's not one that's, aspires for, above his station and greatness. And obviously we know that's wrong. So I wonder if that is a little bit of a like premonition about his own camp of Ormond of like, oh, they're all going at each other, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, because we know eventually, with Ulf and Hugh, what needs to happen with them. And we know it becomes a bit of a hot mess with Daron, and like their camp eventually does kind of fall apart. So.
And so at the end of First Tumbleton, basically Ormond's death is important because it leaves no leader. And so Hugh and Ulf, after their victory, they turn cloak, they won the battle, and they just sort of get high on the hog. And Hugh declares himself king, and Ulf debases himself every night. And so maybe they will mimic that. Maybe the Greens will win, quote unquote, but Ormond is gone. And so now it's this chaotic situation. But I kind of feel like they'll keep Ormond around and maybe have Daron, pull something. We'll get some version of Second Tumbleton where Ormond dies there and Daron too,
probably early next season. I could see that happening. I wanted to ask too, there was some like clips or images that looked like Gawain fighting in the next episode.
Hiding or fighting?
Fighting.
Okay.
Well, and it looked like indoors. Yeah.
Oh, he died like, in the books
kind of
a long time ago.
Showdown moment.
Yeah, so he's past his expiration.
He's kind of marked for death. And I feel like that'll be a big thing for Daron, because I feel like Gawain has been kind of his source of growing like courage, He's confiding in Gawain a lot. He seems to really like Gawain. So
his safe space.
Yes, if Gawain dies, that will force Daron to maybe do something. Yeah, make a decision. I feel like we're only going to get one Tumbleton somehow, and they'll do an alt reality version that leads to the same result, though. 1.5 Tumbletons. Yes, certainly they could. It's a question of where they're going to leave things at the end of next week, basically. And no, we have not seen the cannibal yet. I do have a cool cannibal video. If you want cannibal, you have to watch my video. He's not on the show yet. But
do we think he will be? Maybe?
Yes, we're going to hope. Why not? Nothing else to do. Might as well. Ormond has to die next episode. There will be too much to happen if Ormond survives. Yeah, I guess it'll be anticlimactic if he survived just to die early next season. It's just that if he does die, you're kind of like, well, who's in charge of the Greens? Like, who are you building up next season? Like Aegon has Sunfire again, but he's still just by himself in the Riverlands. And Aemond is still going to be in Harrenhal, Can we all pour one out for poor Adam and the look of heartbreak on his face when Baela was like, oh, did your brother ask about me? Yeah, that was rough. I felt bad for him. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Kind of a lopsided triangle. A little bit.
Yeah, the triangles are never even and neat and tidy. That's usually... Who's in the casket behind Alan? Adam. This from the preview. I didn't catch that scene from the preview. I would not know. I didn't see that. I'm not sure who would be.
Corlys?
Not yet. Was there dragon poo? People are talking about dragon poo. Where was that?
I did not notice that. I wanted to say, though, I did like, they keep giving us little hints and mentions of Corlys Velarion's adventures. Ormond did mention that at the dinner table where he's like, you've traveled all around the world and you've seen all these things. And I'm like, it just feels like they're really drumming up excitement for that potential spinoff, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. Well deserved.
Well, I think Aegon and Sunfire will end up on Dragonstone like in the books. I mean, that's kind of where they are. I don't think he's flying to Tumbleton or anything.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have enough power. That's why he goes to Dragonstone. Like, he needs to rebuild. I wonder if they're going to scoop Larys back up, or if Larys is headed back to King's Landing.
I could see it being either way. But just for the drama, I'll just vote that he goes back to King's Landing.
The very opening scene had dragon poo. All right, I'll have to go check it out.
They're saying with Adam and Bela that the dragon poop was in that scene.
It would be kind of funny if Aegon and Sunfire and Tylan do show up and track down wherever Laris is, and kind of like the scene of Sea Smoke tracking down Adam, and like, you know, them just busting it and be like, hey, look, we didn't die, we got a dragon now, come join our team again, you know, we're getting the gang back together.
Get in the car.
Yeah, get in the car.
We talked about Cyrax. Cyrax took some hurting in that scene, and she was wounded when they were climbing on. You could see the wounds.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
I think dragons probably do heal pretty well. You know, once you get them out of the fight, as long as they don't die. I mean, they can brewmate. You know, they can do that. So I think Cyrax will ultimately be okay. But I was concerned for the Queen's dragon in that scene. I imagine Vhagar takes massive. Yeah, probably. So this is what we were talking about, is what happens if a dragon takes a poo flying over the city? And how heavy is it? How hard does it fall? Is it killing people? The answer is yes, it's killing people. It's a real danger.
It's probably like molten lava.
Yeah. And I had somebody message me about this back and forth, like estimating the weight and the consistency and stuff. It was a very strange conversation. But, you know, that's how it is. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate you. And always appreciate your good comments on the videos. You leave lots of comments. Thank you. I'm confused as to when the Dragon Keepers came back. Well, they all walked out on Rhaenyra. But I guess they're back at work. Yeah, I mean, what are they going to do? They're Dragon Keepers. There's not other dragons to keep somewhere. So they just
no other
walked out.
job would compare after that. It's like, what are you going to do? Like, go wash dishes at a restaurant? Like,
yeah.
This is a pretty glamorous job.
There's not a High Sparrow. You're talking about the Shepherd. And
the Shepherd?
No, the Shepherd's, that's the next season thing, unless they're just setting him up. Some people think we've already seen the Shepherd. Like one of the people, because the Shepherd's missing a hand. And somebody was saying, oh, maybe one of the people that Daemon was chopping hands off back in season 1 will be the Shepherd.
Or the one that touched Helena when she was with Alicent.
Oh, that's what it was. You're right. That's what it was.
I'm pointing the wrong way. This way. Yeah. Yes. I'm like turned around. But yeah, I think so for sure, Nettles. Yeah.
Didn't Ulf claim Silverwing and Dragon Poo? No, that was was the egg insulation goo, which is different. Probably stinky also, but
different dragon goo.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We didn't come here to discuss the body. Wait, yes, we did. The body fluids of dragons. Yes. Absolutely, we do that. No, I think Hugh will turn as well. Hugh might not turn the same way that Ulf does, where he meets with Ormond and drinks ale and is like, this is good ale. But you know, he's going to be caught up in the madness somehow, and it's going to spiral out of control, definitely.
I was honestly surprised that when they were drinking the ale that Ormond didn't just like toss his behind himself of like, you know, pretend to drink it, just, you know.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, no, I mean, he did drink it, but I was surprised that he was like, yeah, this is some great ale I brought you. I'm sure Ormond is like, you know.
Not an ale drinker. In fact, might be thinking about going vegetarian. What was that?
Like the Nazi.
Should we do a poll for Dragon of the Week or Winner of the Week?
We can do Dragon of the Week for sure. That's actually a great call.
We could even do like best scene too. Every scene was really great acting. I don't know who I'd give the acting award to, because you might think of, okay, Aegon, but Rhaenyra is pretty good. Mysaria, like I hated her so much less this episode because of the acting she was doing. Alice, not too bad. Alice wasn't too bad this episode.
I thought Daemon was really good this episode too.
Yes.
He was, you know, channeling some sides of Daemon we don't see very often.
You guys are moving on to the next poll. I haven't even done this poll. What other dragons do we have besides these three?
Dreamfire.
Oh, Dreamfire.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if you want to say Cyrax again.
No,
And I think we even saw Moon Dance.
Cyrax got mopped. We're not doing Cyrax.
Sheep Stealer, because we feel
Moon
sad for
Dancer,
Sheep
Sea
Stealer.
Smoke.
I can only do 4. These are the 4 that had the
Okay.
most action.
We can't fit all the dragons on the pole.
Only 4, guys. Yeah. Why isn't this?
Start pole. Sorry, I'm all up in the business. Cyrax did get mopped.
There
All
we
right,
go.
who am I voting for? Like, how could you not vote for Sheep Stealer?
Because
So I'll vote
Sunfire.
for Dream. I'll vote for Dreamfire. Wow, so you already forgot. First, you're being fake when you were like, "Oh, Sheep Stealer, I feel so bad for you." Now you're like, "Oh, Sunfire, Sunfire." You're like looking at the shiny things.
I feel bad for Sunfire too. Sunfire's face is all messed up.
No, I'm just teasing, of course.
He brewmated and came back, man. He's the prince that was promised.
Wow. And what about Dreamfire? It's our first time being seen. You've seen the others.
First time being seen. Yep, Dreamfire. That she's in second. There's a tough vote. Caraxes had a great week, you know.
Nice.
Dang, Sheep Stealer in last. Is it just because Sheep Stealer got real messed up? Is that why?
Sheep Stealer got jumped, you guys.
Sheep Stealer don't back down though. Say that much.
Sheep Stealer's that new kid in school just trying to make friends.
I like how you can feel Sheep Stealer's anger. Like,
yeah.
you really can.
And hurt and betrayal. When Sheep Stealer was walking off those noises, it's like, oh my gosh. I was on my way to Whole Foods. Like, why did you guys do this to me? I'm just minding my own business.
I was really terrified too. I thought they were going to kill off Sheep Stealer, and I would not have been able to handle that.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And that feeling, like I said, like, it's crazy. None of this is real. It's all CGI, right? But like the feeling was real, guys, in the pit of my stomach, where I was just like, oh my gosh. The music, like something about it had me like so tense.
It's because we also didn't know what was going to happen. Like, Sheep Stealer's not guaranteed to survive. That's what we were. Our book readers were thinking, like, oh, they might be killing off Sheep Stealer here. Like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Showing us lore. They were showing us a lot with that. Like the idea of like these dragons fighting without fire. Like it's not just these are like burning nuclear weapons. Like that beak and that claw. Yeah.
Yeah, Sheep Stealer defended Reyna, and then Reyna essentially ran away from Sheep Stealer. That was heartbreaking.
And I feel bad. Like, Sheep Stealer's like, I'm a bad dragon, but I'm your bad dragon, you know?
I know.
Yeah, it's like, he doesn't listen all the time. He's a rescue. He's not very good, but like...
I think I read that on AO3 one time. I'm your bad dragon. I think
your bad dragon, yeah.
But imagine if all those dragons worked together to take down Vhagar. And look at them messing around instead.
Well, that's the whole war in microcosm, isn't it? Like, they're not on the same page. So, Bad Dragon is a toy brand.
Okay, you people voting for Sunfire, come on now.
I was not aware of that.
Not a toy
So
brand.
you guys liked Aegon
Yeah,
burning
no,
Lightbringers.
I got it.
Not ones you'd buy for your kids, all right? Yeah. Tim, you got it, Tim. I know you got it, Stella. I'm just being corny. They make some crazy stuff. Anyway, don't look things up on the internet is the point. Don't know if this was touched on earlier, but it felt like they showed Cyrax getting particularly mauled in order to set up their confrontation with Sunfire to make Cyrax's defeat more believable.
But Sunfire,
I didn't follow that.
they're saying Sunfire is going to take Cyrax out later, and since they're probably about similar size, it'll make Cyrax losing more believable. But do they fight?
Well, we haven't seen Sunfire fly. You know, in the book, Sunfire got one wing almost torn off and it healed crooked, and all he can do is flop from hill to hill like a chicken. So if they're showing us something like that, then the Moon Dancer thing will be more believable.
Am I remembering wrong? I thought Cyrax was a dragon pit dragon.
Yeah, it's Moondancer that fights with Sunfire.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna say. They don't fight.
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember that.
Okay, so here's the other question. Yeah, when Rhaenyra dies, do you think they will show her being eaten, or maybe just Aegon the Younger's reaction to it? This is what we were alluding to earlier. Like, how are they going to do this? Because if as you may recall, the Game of Thrones show had the major heroine Daenerys get murdered by her nephew. Okay, and so if they show Rhaenyra getting fed to Aegon's dragon, it's going to be like, why do we even watch these frigging shows? Like they always end the same, which is unfortunate because I don't think Ice and Fire is going to end like that, but Fire and Blood does. And so let me just kick it to you guys. Estella, I think you had some developed thoughts, and then we'll give it to Nettles. And yeah, what would you do? What do you think they're going to do? How do you think they're going to play this?
Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned this in my most recent episode review video. I think it's a real double-edged sword because if you do it how it is in the book, I think a lot of people will be mad about that. If you don't do it how it is in the book, I think a lot of people will be mad about it.
True.
I don't really know what they're going to do or how they're going to do it. My only most recent thought, and I don't even love this thought. I'm not married to the idea, but I know they were really hyping up and mentioning in the inside the episode Rhaenyra cutting herself on the throne, and they kept being like, oh, this is how Viserys got sick, this is infections, diseases, and this cut is going to be a big catalyst for Rhaenyra. And Emma Darcy even said, oh, well, Rhaenyra at this point just thinks it's kind of a metaphorical thing. I don't think she's aware that this is how Viserys got sick. So my only thought is maybe Rhaenyra is going to start getting the sickness Viserys had, and in that it's going to be a bit more of a mercy killing than in a way if she dies, because we'll know that like, hey, she was marked for a kind of worse life anyways. I don't know. I don't love the idea of that, but I can't think of why else they would be bringing up that Rhaenyra cut herself and this is how Viserys got sick if they're not planning to do something with that. So.
Oh, you're muted, Dave.
Oh yeah.
I found that to be an interesting argument in your video. And it's almost like Rhaenyra could do something to sort of provoke it. Like, having a death wish a little bit, or just seeing it as the dragon's judgment, like, cause she's putting a lot of religious fervor into the dragons. Like, oh, sea smoke showed up. That means I'm favored by the gods. So at that point, she may believe that she's not and embrace the ending.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
But it's going to be...
But I can hear you guys, just so you know.
Okay, well, we won't talk shit then, I guess.
Well, I was going to say, like, even then knowing of, like, hey, I'm already marked for kind of a difficult, hard life, knowing what eventually happened to Viserys, of, like, maybe this is her going out on her own terms, in the same way that Laena did, of, like, Aegon thinks he's getting one over on me, but I was already going to die anyways, kind of a vibe. And I don't know.
I could see that having been designed from the beginning, because that's one of the questions that they should have been asking from the beginning. How do we handle the ending given Game of Thrones? And they did really play up the whole the Iron Throne leprosy in season 1. And so it could be that is the plan, is to have Rhaenyra contract it. Because I wouldn't want to keep living if I had Iron Throne leprosy. It looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
So Sunfire is the winner. Dreamfire is second. Sheepstealer and Caraxes with a respectable 20%-ish. So
okay.
Let's do performance of the week, because that sounded interesting when you guys were arguing about it.
I was going to say that I would love to hear both of your thoughts, on what you think they will or could do with the Rhaenyra ending thing, because it's such a weird conundrum, Yeah.
You want to do the poll first? There's so many people to name, and we have to pick 4.
No, go ahead. Give your take first, Nettles.
Oh, well, for the Rhaenyra thing, I definitely think they're going to do it in the books, as far as, like, we're going to see the dragon, like, bite her. Like, we're going to see some carnage, blood spurting. I don't know, something. Because they took the time to show us Luke, like, getting chopped, and, like, just how visceral like that was. So they're not afraid to go there. Um, so yeah, I definitely think I had not heard of like that leprosy thing. Um, I just don't think that there is a throne leprosy because the actor playing Viserys said that his illness is self-imposed because he feels so guilty to what he did to the love of his life, Aemma. Isn't that what he said?
Well, thematically, sure, but like,
Yeah.
he obviously the wound mortified. There doesn't have to be an Iron Throne disease. It's just
Right.
a random wound
A
that went
mercy
bad
kill.
or something. But like,
Mhm.
it seems like they're
Yeah.
trying to imply it as something more.
Like she asked for it. That could be. I wouldn't mind seeing that if they could do that um in a nice way that makes sense. I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of it until I watched the Inside the episode and they said, oh, they like confirmed it. They said this is how Viserys got sick, and when you cut yourself, you get infection and disease. So it feels like that is a thing they're trying to go with, of like, that's how he
Okay.
got sick. But I don't know. I also don't love, too, I will say, like, this kind of characterization of the throne, of like, they've given it almost a personality, of like,
Yeah.
oh, it spurns the unworthy. And we saw at the end of Thrones too, of like Drogon burning it, of like, oh, it was the throne that corrupted Daenerys. And I don't love it, but I do think they're kind of going with that in some ways.
Yeah.
So
The throne's important. It has a council seat. Master of blood banks. I don't know. But
So the throne is an important symbol. Like, it's a throne made out of swords. It just to remind you, not like Aegon literally says the king should never rest easy, but it's also a symbol of what they are. They're warlord kings that sit on their
yeah.
throne by right of conquest. And then it also puts the king in a position of a sacrifice. The throne is like an altar. You stick someone
Mhm.
on there, they bleed out. And so that's kind of what George is telling you about being in charge. Like, yeah, everyone wants a bite. It takes all of your energy in life. Like, look at the presidents and their gray hair after they get out of office. It's
Yeah.
basically that. So the show is sort of running with it by like, oh, the throne it's not meant to choose. It's rough on everybody. Like, that's what George is doing with it.
I will say too, in season 1, when Daemon and Rhaenyra did sneak out when she was young, I believe there was a bit of like foreshadowing there. Like there's something where like someone tells Rhaenyra like, "Oh, do you want to see your future? Do you want to?" There's something like that, and then there's a flash of fire. I know a lot of people pointed that out in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they would just do that if they're not gonna
No.
have it happen. I feel like they have been foreshadowing that Rhaenyra, I think she will get a similar end to how she does in the book. It's just how they land that plane that I think will really make or break how audiences feel.
Yeah.
And people are pointing out in the chat that in season 3, Joffrey refers to Rhaenyra's death. So
Yes.
technically, in Game of Thrones show canon, it's canon. I never thought that they would change it too much. It's more about how they present it. I do
Mhm.
think they will portray it a little bit like Lena, where it's like a dragon rider's death. And also, I think you just have to embrace the tragedy of it. It's not a happy story. It's a tragedy. And this is a
Yeah.
tragic end for the character. So, yeah.
And also, Dave, speaking to your other question about kind of like people like seeing the ending to Game of Thrones and being like, oh, another ending again where the woman is taken out. Um, I get that grievance, but I don't really think about it in those terms. Patterns repeat in history, and patterns certainly repeat in your family tree, your family history. Like, don't you see like the same kind of characteristics or quirks when you think about your family members? So, I just think it's something that happens, and to skirt away from it, um, I think would do more harm.
I agree with you. However, I'm still predicting that will not be well received by a lot of people. And I think
Yeah.
people will talk shit about George after, be like, this guy is messed up. He has a problem with women and violence. And we've been sort of watching these ultra violent shows and stories and going, oh, but it's, they handled it this way, or are they handling it right? And at the end of the day, I think a lot of people are just going to be like, these stories are messed up. And it's going to be a shame, because that's not really what I think about when I think about Ice and Fire. And again, I don't think the books are going to end the way that John and Danny did. Like Dave and Dan have said,
Yeah.
we came up with the Danny and John stuff back in season 3. Like, they came up with it, not George.
Yeah.
But
But still, it's in the canon of the world because that medium exists. But I do like to your point, though, I feel like instead of it being looked at as, oh, George is always writing about these horrible things happening to women, he has many stories in A Song of Ice and Fire, and sometimes a lot where the women win, right? Or the men lose, like the men keep losing, the men keep making mistakes. It just so happens that two of the most riveting um, stories, like Game of Thrones and this one, just involves women. So I think it's a testament and like a clap to like the best stories involve women, the stories that are so riveting that they chose to put them on the screen. So I see it as a win instead of it as a knock, like, oh, bad things are always happening to women.
Yeah, and little by little, like Rhaenyra and Alicent both have been presented like more positively than people expected. But Alicent has fully gotten there at this point. Alicent is evil as hell. Like, she's done some really messed up stuff. And I think we're seeing Rhaenyra get darker. She hasn't really done anything super messed up yet. But that probably is coming. So
I have two thoughts. I was gonna say I agree with the idea of like history repeating itself, and it makes me think of it. It seems very random, but there's a film called The Duchess with Keira Knightley, and it's all about, I believe it's the Duchess of Devonshire, and she's an ancestor to, I believe, Princess Diana, and their lives are very similar. They have very similar things happen within their lives, and so it's just ironic and strange that they are related in ancestors, and yet that history repeats itself over and over again. And then my second thought too is, I think with the the death of Daenerys in the show and also the death of Rhaenyra, yeah, the problem is people look at that and think, oh yeah, George is terrible, he has a problem, he's bad at writing women, whereas I think a lot of people miss the nuance on it, which is that he's making a critique on how we historically have treated women. It's not that he himself believes this about women, and that's the thing too, is people say, oh, if you write about misogyny, that means you're a misogynist, and it's like, no, actually, we're talking about history, we're critiquing that, and a lot of times too, he's even critiquing our modern world and how we are treating women now. And so I think if they can land the plane in a way that that story is understood, I think that'll be for the best. But I think ultimately people will, for whatever reason, misunderstand it. I think that's just the nature of differing opinions on the internet and stuff.
I do also think they're setting up a response from the common people. Like, the longer the war drags on, the more they're like, would you guys just stop it? Like, would you High Lords figure out who's going to sit on the damn chair already? Like, people are getting tired of both of their asses at this point because, you see the common people. They're leaving their town or city where they've lived all their lives, and they're just hoofing it through the woods going, we're running for our lives. Like, that's not fun. But
they're smart. That's who I would be. Like, it's the first time you said dragon, I'm like, okay, let me live somewhere where there aren't dragons.
Yeah. Let's move. What was I going to say? Oh, Tim, you made a comment a minute ago in the chat that the green men are going to drag Daemon's corpse out of the God's Eye and onto the Isle of Faces, and he's going to be a green seer, and you in Gray Area are going to laugh, and I'm going to cry. So I want to tell you that I talked to Gray Area. We were chatting this week, and I told her, I was like, look, I will be happy for you if you get that one. Because, of course, this was Gray Area. As soon as we saw, like, back in season 1, as she was on this. And I think maybe she even had this idea already before the show that Daemon was the Green Seer before Bloodraven. I have always had a huge issue with the theory because he doesn't have verified Green Seer blood. And he's never been shown to be a Green Seer. Gray Area is pointing out that does he have a Massey grandmother, or is it his grandmother is from a First Man house?
His parents are brother and sister, and then their parents are brother and sister, and then their parents are brother and sister. On his direct line, I don't see going all the way back to Makeover to Aegon.
So his parents are Balon the Brave and Alyssa.
Yeah.
And their parents are who?
Jaehaerys and Alysanne. And Jaehaerys and Alysanne's parents are brother and sister. So his direct lineage, there hasn't been outside blood yet.
Yeah, where's that one coming? It is Massey, but how does that work, Crayways, Tim? And the point is, I'm not representing the theory properly. Go watch Gray Area's video about it. My point was just that the only reason I have an issue with the theory is the Green Seer bloodline stuff. Thematically, it seems like the show is setting that up. So at this point, I will not be surprised. I certainly will not be crying. I'll be very happy for Gray Area if she gets that right, because I think Gray Area is awesome, and I don't have to get every freaking theory right in order to feel good about myself.
Yeah.
And obviously Tim was kidding, but no, I brought it up this week, and I was like, dude, you might get that one. Like, it definitely seems like they could be going that way. I don't know if that means it's the case in the books, but it certainly might. So shout out Gray Area. Check out her video about that. It's definitely a cool theory. So
it's fun to see your friends win.
Yeah, exactly. I got the eclipse tonight, man. And literally everything I said about RLJ ever is correct, according to the play, which is maybe canon, maybe not, but not everything. But I got a few things right there. Leanna Greenseer, the general vibe of them both having dreams. Pretty happy with all that. So
nice.
Yeah. Yep. Between the eclipse and Leanna Greenseer, I'm happy this week. I'm a happy man. So yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind.
Aenys didn't have a sister to marry, but it was a Velaryon.
What's that?
So someone in the audience said Aenys didn't have a sister to marry, but he married a Velaryon, who I think was half Targaryen.
Closest thing,
Didn't
yeah.
he?
The same way Dany has Dane and Blackwood blood. Oh, so you have to go back a couple generations. Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm only paraphrasing. I watched a video like 3 years ago. So go watch Gray Area's video on it for the whole theory. But there you go. So let's see here. Do you guys think that Alice distracted Vhagar, drove Vhagar off somehow? She did, right? Suits her purposes pretty well.
My only thing is I don't know if she has that much power.
Just send Vhagar bad dreams. Or maybe send Vhagar dreams of like lots of sheep on a hill somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Vhagar is burning, which goes into like our id, theory that Vhagar is doing what Aemon wants.
I hope we get some sort of reveal on that. I'm not sure that we will. But yes, let's do the actor of the week poll. Who are the nominees?
Okay,
that's
we can't put Ormond.
What'd you say?
But I said we can't put Ormond. Let's just leave it out. That's a given. Maybe I'm just throwing names out there. Ulf, Rhaena, Rhaenyra, Daemon,
Aegon.
Corlys, huh?
So
Aegon.
I've definitely got Aegon and Daemon on the list. Rhaenyra can be here every week. I think I would put Rhaenyra here this week, though. She really... Fia. Yeah.
What about Rhaena? And...
We can only do 4, remember.
I know. I'm just throwing them out. Larry's, Thailand.
I'm telling the chat.
Mysaria.
Oh, Mysaria. Mysaria had a week. I think Alice did too, even though Alice didn't have that much, but she...
Again, yeah, her having to play Alice Rivers, playing her, but also playing herself. That was very fun. This was a fun episode for Alicent.
I'll put her on there as the 3rd.
Oh, yeah.
It's tough. There's a lot of good acting on the show.
If Ulf scared you, maybe Ulf deserves to be here because he showed us a different...
I think Helena should be the 4th here.
Helena
or Rhaena? Who do you got between those two?
In this specific episode, I guess I'll do Helena because she also gave something new. We've seen like Rhaena. You could have swapped out that speech she had with Daemon in the cave, as far as like the feels.
That Daemon cave moment earlier, to me, that was her eating this season. That was her like best moment of like, the sadness, but also the anger. Like I loved her like monologue there.
Yeah. I feel like about the same as Helena and Rhaena. Rhaena really did have some good stuff this week.
Yeah, but
look, if you think Emma is an okay actor at best, you're out to fucking lunch. Like, what are you smoking?
You're out to lunch.
What are you smoking? I'm sorry.
What would happen if you put Raina / Helena? Let them share. So if you vote for either, because you already know, like Aegon, Damon, Allison are going to get a lot of votes, so it's okay if Raina and Helena share.
I'm gonna put Raina on here because I think Helena's gonna be on here next week. And
Okay.
Raina, this is the first time Raina's really gotten stuff. Well, the second time, the one other episode, yeah.
No, yeah. She had good moments, especially with Rhaenyra when she was like, "I'm so sorry." Like, no, she did great.
And I really did think that that Matt Damon was very strong this week.
Oh, you know another scene? The scene with Rhaena and Bela. Like that was really great, and we've been wanting to see that. Talk to your sister. And the
Yeah.
first thing she says, like with a broken heart, is that like you were gonna be queen. So out of everything that's happened, that's what's at the forefront of her mind. Like that was interesting.
Yeah, I just won't hear the Emma slander. I'm sorry. We're lucky. We are lucky to have actors of that caliber. Like
Yeah.
I don't know
I
what
think
else
Emma
to
Darcy's
say.
doing a great job. I mean, I think they have a lot of like minute little tweaks to their face in their scenes. Like
Hmm.
I've been really enjoying their performance.
I think that people get caught up in like the character the show has created and being angry about the character versus the book character and stuff. But like
Yeah.
if you think about the acting, like
Yeah.
whatever you give Emma to do, they do. So
Yep.
I don't know. I don't get that.
Like that throne scene, that was bad acting to you.
Sonoya
Her first
Mizuno
time.
is pregnant. The actor is pregnant while shooting, and I guess they just decided to go with it and hide it. So you can
Mhm.
tell in some of these scenes, and that's why her
Mhm.
outfits are a bit different. I know you were talking about her outfits, Stella.
I
So
mean, her
the
outfit
actor is
this
pregnant. Yeah.
episode was fabulous. Yeah, and I mentioned like I was like, I know she's pregnant, but I don't think that means we got to put her in a pantsuit jacket for last
Yeah.
episode. I was like,
Thought
why
that
is
was
she in a
valid.
blazer? This episode, her gown was gorgeous, and I thought it hid whatever just result. I mean, this could have been filmed totally out of order too. Maybe this was earlier. Maybe those scenes were filmed later, and so. But
Hard to
Mhm.
say. Yeah.
hard to say.
But no excuses for being pregnant because Cersei was pregnant for like maybe like was it 1 or 2 seasons, and we never knew. We were never the wiser.
It would have been interesting to make Mysaria pregnant and have that be a juxtaposition with
Yeah.
Helena being
Mhm.
pregnant, but they didn't do that. So whatever. We wish Sonoya Mizuno. Oh, I guess this probably is done with by now. They filmed this like a long time ago, but
Yeah.
I voted Aegon for some reason. I should now
yeah,
I want
that's
to
the
change
thing
it to
about this
Allison.
poll is that Aegon was going to win no
Hard.
matter who the
Yeah.
fourth and fifth choices were. So
No, at the last minute I wanted to change it to Allison, to be honest, because of getting to see her like play like Love Island, like she's on Love Island, like those that's those sultry scenes.
I mostly feel like it's just an embarrassment of riches. Like we complain about a lot of stuff. It's never the acting. Like it never is almost.
Mhm.
Yeah. And the casting is equally on point.
Yeah.
It was on the first show too, as well as on Dunk and Egg. I mean, Egg and Dunk. Gee whiz! I've seen people complain about like he's 30. He's not even that tall. He's only 6'6". Like, dude,
How could they?
Okay.
just read the book. If you have the
Yeah.
book shoved that far up the bad place, then just read the book, pull it out of there, and give it a read. Still there.
I saw a very funny comment on a thing that was talking about like the eye acting in this show and how wonderful it is. And it was like, Fia looking up, when the blood and cheese incident happens, Allison looking up at the dragon pit, all this beautiful eye acting that we get from these characters. And someone in the comments was like, it's not that hard to do. I know how to squint. And it just cracked me up because someone was like, yeah, but imagine doing that, and they're like, well, I'm not an actor, but I can like squint and I can roll my eyes, and they're like, yeah, but imagine doing that in front of a whole camera crew of people multiple times over on cue, and they're like, well, yeah, I said I'm not an actor, and I'm like, well, then yeah, you like I'm pinching my nose of just like, yeah, that's the art of acting and being talented, and they're very good at it, so it just cracked me up.
I
It's
also
very
think
silly.
that acting is one of those things where like the line between good acting and bad acting is so thin. Like you either get people to buy in or you don't. And if you don't pull it off, it looks terrible. So yeah, I think acting is hard, and it gets taken for granted.
Well, and the thing too, we saw both Rhaenyra and Alicent have to pretend to be bad actors in this episode. Of Rhaenyra trying to be like, "Hey, Helena," "Hey, girly sister," and then Alicent also having to lie. So I think that's also a testament to their talent, is like being such a good actor that you have to also play a bad actor and make it convincing.
Michael talks about stuff rolling through the stream late. You're up past your bedtime, Michael. Unless you're staying up all night to make a video again, like you always do. Did I already talk about the long night being an eclipse? Yes, I did. We can talk about it some more if you want. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. Pretty exciting. Michael, also a fan of the moon, like myself. So, and I'm sure you probably have some things to say about Helena and the moon. Remember, she's asking to see the moon, and then there's the moon in her dreams, kind of like a bad omen.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind another Helena Dream episode. Keep them coming.
Mm-hmm.
I just got here because I made a video about the eclipse right away. Damn you, Michael.
Right away.
Michael cranked it out this week, actually. So me and Estella did the big live stream talking about all the news from the stage play. Michael has made like 47 11-minute videos about various topics. So definitely check out his coverage of the play. He's got some good takes on there.
Nice.
That's great.
And so the thing with the eclipse, and I'm going to end this poll, is so my theory is that there was an eclipse and moon meteors, because that's what the legend describes. The moon wanders too close to the sun, and then it cracks. Now, the moon wandering too close to the sun, easy to say, well, that's an eclipse. That's the only time you can see the moon in the sky near the sun, is when it's in front of it, because otherwise it's just invisible. It's daytime. And so there's definitely an eclipse happening. But then the moon cracks. Now, the eclipse only makes it look like the moon is next to the sun. It's not really next to the sun. So the eclipses don't crack open moons. And then when you look at the Azor Ahai legend, where the moon cracks when Nissa Nissa screams, she's stabbed by Lightbringer, the red sword. Now, we know the red comet is analogous to the red sword. That's been made clear throughout the books. And so it's like, oh, well, if the moon dies when Nissa Nissa dies, maybe Nissa Nissa represents the moon. And so that sword stabbing is actually the comet hitting, it's a parallel to the comet hitting the moon. That's how you'd crack a moon open and get the meteor dragons pouring forth. So while they did not show us moon meteors, obviously, showing us that the eclipse is connected to the long night is really important, because there are these two legends about the eclipse, or about the moon rather. In the Azor Ahai legend, it just says the moon cracks. But in the Carthian Origin of Dragons legend, the moon cracks and the dragons pour out. The dragons pouring out is the meteor. So now we have a confirmation that this eclipse legend from Karth is connected to the long night legend, which also has the moon cracking. So it's pretty good confirmation of at least part of my theory. Hopefully that made sense. But yeah, I was excited.
Yeah.
What was the title of the episode? Was The Dragon in Winter or something like that?
I didn't catch the title of the episode.
Somebody said that.
Does anyone know?
It's an interesting name, because the only winter we saw was the dream. Yeah, The Dragon in Winter is the episode title. Yeah, that was the only winter we saw, was the snow in Helena's dream.
Usually someone says the title. Who said that? Who said The Dragon in Winter?
Didn't catch that. If it is, it's a reference to The Lion in Winter about Henry II. What's the elaborate? Auto on fire. I don't have Sean here with me.
Well, I was thinking, is it a reference to Helena being the dragon in winter in her vision? I mean, she's Targaryen. He kind of is in the winter when it blows in and happens.
I mean, that's the first reading I took of it. Yeah. But what is The Lion in Winter? I see the chat excited about this. What is it? Henry II. Is that like a play? Oh, Alice's comment last week that Aemon should hide for the winter like a frog under the ice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess they're sort of just drawing the long night parallels with this whole war. Like this is the winter of the war. Like things are getting the darkest right now.
It's about Henry II. And that's a parallel to Viserys 1.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like I mentioned earlier, Ryan Condal did confirm to like the team, like the costumers, that the dying of the dragons is what makes the world colder and ushers in the harsher winters. So I think they definitely are playing with that symbolism of that is to come
Mm.
once the dragons die out. So
It's a movie with Peter O'Toole and Katharine Hepburn. Well, there you go.
Oh, nice. Maybe I'll check that out. Why not?
When winter came on, her and her kids, it made me sad. It was such a Oh, they're talking about the story.
Well, before we go, could we talk about the audacity of Allison being a kinslayer? Like,
Yeah,
that's so
absolutely.
crazy. Like, even though Rhaenyra gave her the task, I never thought she would follow through. Like, she did that, guys.
Yeah, it's one
Unless,
thing to lead the assassin there and not do it.
yeah.
But I think she feels like she has no choice. It's not just that she's been told to do it by Rhaenyra. Literally, if Aemond is alive with Vhagar, he's going to keep fighting the war. And what she's trying to do ostensibly is end the war so more high towers don't get killed. Besides Aemond, obviously.
yeah, I think we've seen with her like this, obviously she's caring for Helena. She seemed a little bit to care about Daron, and even though she doesn't seem to have too much of a relationship with him. And in the beginning of the season, she still is kind of wanting to have her cake and eat it too. And she sends Aemond away of like, go hide. And, last season, obviously she's willing to sell out Aegon and Aemond. But now it feels like, yeah, one step further of, okay, no, she really is willing to get rid of them and do it herself, which is just kind of a new low for what she's willing to do. And it's very sad.
Michael Talks is mentioning that this is after she heard confirmation that Aemond tried to murder Aegon, too. He confessed that to her. She's like, I know. They're there.
Yeah.
They're there.
Yeah.
But she may
Yeah.
have been like, that may have hardened her resolve. Like, oh, yeah, this guy is going to continue to bring death and destruction to our family if I don't kill him.
Yeah.
I think Allison's just one of those moms where, like, some women, like, they have a kid and they look at the baby's face and they can never let go. Like, they just love that baby, even if they're poor, even if whatever. But some women can look at them and just be like, let it go. Please don't ever contact me. I'll give you up for adoption. And like, they're not all women are the same. So I think Allison is that latter. And I think what points to that is Alice. I wish it was Allison's line, but it was Alice's line pretending to be Allison, where she says, I was so young. And I think that little sentence speaks volumes because it's not just saying, oh, physically, I was a certain age. She was saying, like, I had, like, this was inevitable because I was so young. There's no way that I could love you or the way that I should, because, like, I didn't love your father or whatever the reason, so many reasons why she can't connect to her kids in a way. Like, it's almost like she's overriding, like, the motherhood instinct, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, we saw her, bouncing, Aegon on her hip as a baby. We saw her trying really hard to calm down crying baby Helena. I don't think we saw her holding baby Aemond. I don't think we saw her, they intentionally did not show us Alicent and baby Aemond. I think she clearly has that connection with Helena. I think she had somewhat of a bit of a connection, an odd relationship with Aegon. I mean, we saw it in the first season of him saying, "Oh, do you even like me?" And she was like, "You're an idiot." I think, they're showing that strained relationship between her and Aemond, and clearly Aemond wants love and affection from her. And I think for whatever reason, she is not able to fully give it for him.
She's kind of been in a state of shock for a while almost. Like Alicent, she's just like after her father died and after Aegon, like ever since Aegon and Aemond went sideways at Rook's Rest, she's been kind of just like, oh my God, like what have we done? And
Yeah.
she's trying to wake up from a bad dream almost, and she can't. And she
Yeah.
just keeps making it worse.
But I just think even before the war that she had some detachment. Think about Daron, like she hasn't been writing him. I would write him every day on his birthday, even if it was just once a year. Like if I cared at all, like, hey, I thought of you when I saw this sunflower in the field, and my wish for you on your birthday is da 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 da. You know what I mean? Like you could have done something. She just lets it go. She's able to, and I'm not judging that because if that's like not all women are made to be mothers, and whenever a woman is forced to be a mother, That's when we get the worst
That's a
situation
good point,
possible.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That goes the same for fathers too.
Yeah.
Probably. Go
yeah.
ahead.
And we saw so many births in season 1. We never saw Alicent give birth ever. We never saw it. She does seem to have this detachment, even just in the identity of motherhood, even how they're crafting the story around her being a mother in general. I talked about some family psychology stuff in a video, and she definitely, I think, falls into the category of an uninvolved parent, which is sometimes called a neglectful parent, and there's a lot of aspects that go into that, but I definitely think that's the story they're painting with her.
And it's nice. It's refreshing to see because we've seen enough Catelyn Starks who do it, who uh, are, good parents. And even Cersei, at least she loved her kids. She wasn't a good parent, but she really loved her kids, So now we're seeing like the other type of mom that definitely exists.
I enjoyed your parenting diagram, Estella. I got a kick out of that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, somebody's making use of their college education. Finally.
Yes. gotta use it for something. So
Totally.
Yeah.
That's like when I use my music gifts to make a little intro theme song. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, I'm a rock star. Am I a rock star? Am I? Oh. Yeah. Well, when you guys leave a comment and you like my theme song, I feel like a rock star. So thank you. It seems so easy, like you're 19, you're in a band, you see all these bands that are getting famous and you're like, we don't suck any more than them. We could suck in front of a big crowd like they do. And yeah, it's tough. It's harder than it looks.
Someone said, I bet Aemond was a creepy baby, and that's just so out of pocket.
Aemond was one of those
babies. You see that. You see people judging babies out there sometimes, though.
Yeah. I agree with that comment. He's probably insisting on being breastfed for too long. He's like 6 years old. And she's like, okay, quit it. Just stop.
But he never laughs.
The baby that never smiles, never laughs is just like
creepy babies are totally a thing. Let it out, chat. Tell your creepy baby stories in the chat. All right. See y'all later. So mourning. Are they setting up mourning? I don't know that they really are. I don't feel like that's something they have to do.
Yeah, no.
At this point, but maybe they will.
Maybe. I don't know.
If Sheepstealer's not dead, it's going to be that whole question of like, well, is she still bonded to Sheepstealer? Do you guys think? What do you think? Yeah. Let's do the poll. Are we going to Are we going to sell Sheepstealers by the seashore? Are we going to see Sheepstealer again?
Sheepstealer alive or dead?
Alive. I mean, are we going to see Sheepstealer again alive? They better not just fly by the corpse. That would be dumb. It's dead. Yep, there it is. It's hard to type like this. There we go. I don't know. I kind of think not, but I don't feel solid about it. Sheepstealer might take Grey Ghost's place. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's what the chat earlier was trying to say. Like Sheepstealer is going to be weakened and Sunfire is going to kill Sheepstealer like Sunfire killed Grey Ghost. And now it will make sense because Sheepstealer's weakened. Make it stop. Make it stop, man.
Make it stop. But it's good writing. It hurts my feelings, but I'll take it. This is what I'm here for.
I guess this is what we signed up for. All the dragons dying. Very sad. That's the story.
Bring the pain.
Ugh. Scene Stealer's going to swoop in and kill Vhagar. Yeah, probably not. But people are saying no because it feels right. Using Sheepstealer as Grey Ghost. Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah, we're so attached to Sheepstealer.
Yeah,
I feel like
have y'all seen? He's so derpy and cute.
Have either of y'all seen the movie Obsession?
Yes.
I feel very much like that scene where she's just the biggest frown ever of just.
Don't remind me of that movie. Like,
it makes me so sad. I don't want Sheepstealer to get got. No.
It's. Well, the chat says 77% yes, we're going to see Sheepstealer again.
Cool.
Probably not going to be a good thing if we do.
I know.
Which scene was it that Rhaenyra heard the tinnitus?
Tetanus.
No, tinnitus, like the
Oh,
ringing in your ear.
yeah, I have
Like
that. I used to be in a band, like I was saying. What now?
that. There was a scene where Rainier had it, and I'm trying to pay attention every time, like each scene that she has it, to see if like these are the bells. Um, but I remember thinking, oh, this scene's it's inconsequential. It's not a big deal. But now I can't remember even what the scene was. Was it finding? It was finding out that
Yeah.
the writer of Sheep Stealer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was during the
Actually,
small
that is
council in
crazy.
episode 3 when they were talking about that. Yeah, exactly right. Tell us
Hmm.
about my band. No, not going to do that. I play bass. I'm very handsome when I play bass. We'll leave it at that. You don't need to hear the music. But like I said, I make all the music on my channel pretty much. So there it is. With bass guitar and a lot of effects pedals. In case you're wondering, I don't have any software synths. I just tweak the pedals until they're twoke. Let's see. You thought of me immediately with the Eclipse. Well, good. I would hope so. Been on this block for a minute now.
Yeah, I would hope so. Same.
Hello, tonight is my old friend. What? Wonder if Raina will end up becoming Nettles living in the cave long term, and I'm wondering if they're setting up Damon running off with her. No, I think we crossed that bridge tonight. I don't think they're going to go back for it. If they were going to do that, they would have left her out there in the Eyrie, and Damon joins her, and they go hunt Vagar, just like he was talking about. Now I don't think they're doing that.
She's in the capital now, right? Now she's playing
Yeah,
capital games.
confined to her quarters.
Get her a wig.
We have burned men in Game of Thrones, so yeah, Sheep Stealer survives. Guys, I don't think they're that tight on the canon. I really don't.
No, that's too tight.
Well, the chat says Sheep Stealer's coming back. So,
I think so.
yay.
Because it, like, either way, like, killing Sheep Stealer, this episode would have been, like, insane, right? This would have been like Red Wedding. They chose not to do that, so there has to be a payoff that's
I wouldn't have been
greater
able to
than that.
concentrate to even come on the stream if they had killed Sheep Stealer. Like, I was this close to falling apart, and then they let him slink away, and I was just like,
Yeah.
that was so awful.
So they gave that opportunity up, so let's hope it's for something bigger.
Unless she's the one in the casket getting snuck out of King's Landing. Who, Raina?
Raina? Helena?
No, no, I don't think so. I think if Raina might try to run off and find Sheep Stealer. Sheep Stealer could try to find Raina. Either one of those things could happen. Neither one needs to happen in order for Sheep Stealer to do the Grey Ghost thing and get killed by Sunfire. So maybe then they will hatch Morning because Raina won't have a dragon anymore. I don't know. I don't feel like, I think we're past the book canon now with Nettles, Raina, Sheep Stealer. Like we're in new territory now, so we have no idea what's coming with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Adam is in the casket. That's right. Because in the books, she orders the arrest of Corlys, which is different. He's not there. But the point is, when she hears about Ulf and Hugh betraying, she orders Adam's arrest. Oh, that's what happens. She orders Adam's arrest. Corlys gets him word, and so he escapes, and then she arrests Corlys as punishment. So Corlys isn't involved. But yeah, maybe Adam is sneaking out in the coffin. I didn't see the coffin, so I'm just going off what you guys said.
Do we think Bela and Alan are going to help sneak him out? And that's why Rainier is
Yeah,
grabbing
his brother's
the
there.
killer, where she's like, what did you do?
That's what it would be. Yeah. That fits. Yeah, Adam, I'm for the Valerians doing whatever they have, the Valerians doing whatever they have to do at this point to like stick together. The King's Landing thing is a shit show. It really is.
Yeah, this is definitely going in like my top 3 episodes of the whole series so far. Definitely the best episode this season.
Very intense. The scenes were stitched together well. Good theme work.
Pacing, writing. Some things are predictable, but like I said, like, so what? Like, they still executed it so well.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind predictable if it's executed well, you know? Like we were saying too with like episode 1 of this season, it's like we all knew Jace's death was coming, and yet it still hit really well.
Mm-hmm.
Confirmation of dragons bring the dreams was awesome. I didn't think about that, Summer. What did Helena say? She's like, I used to want to fly all the time, but now when I'm with Dreamfire, it's like too much or something.
Yeah, like she gets overstimulated, type of thing.
It does
But
kind of
maybe
imply the dreams come from the dragon, doesn't it? Sort of. I don't know if I'd say confirmed, but definitely going to watch this one again.
definitely, definitely.
Sheepstealer has to end up in Winterfell so Bran Summer can spot him leaving Winterfell after the Ironborn attack. No, that's too far in the future, Bull Wear the Purple. That's like 200 years away. Sheepstealer's already like 90. So
It'd be very funny.
it would just be like really freaking old.
Ashton Miller thinks that maybe they might have Damon sleep with Rhaena so we can get the Nettles storyline. Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, you could almost think, well, maybe Daemon will sneak Rhaena out of the capital, but I don't think so because, like, Daemon does not trust the wild dragon at all. He wanted to kill him, so I don't think he'll then be like, oh, we'll go track it down and you'll help me. Like, no, I don't think that's happening. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be dismissive of theories. Who the hell knows? We haven't gotten a book in 15 years. I really don't think
Right.
there was a dragon at Winterfell, though. I think that was just symbolism and a river of flame. I don't think there was a dragon under the first keep. It doesn't make, how do you hide a dragon under Winterfell and nobody hears about it? Like, it's got to go hunting out in the woods. You know, people would see it. I just don't see that.
It was Harry Potter's invisibility cloak. It always works.
I know this
They
is
make a lot of noise. You know, they move around, they shake the castle, you know?
I know this is last episode, and we kind of talked about it a little bit, but I wanted to ask again your thoughts on the 5 dragon eggs that Alice has. What do we think happens to those 5 dragon eggs?
Well,
You think
besides
she
the
had-
one that Alice is going to hatch,
Yeah.
probably
Do we think
nothing.
they'll remain there?
Did
They just
you
stay
have
at
an
their
idea
home?
about that?
No, I was just curious because I know there's like, there's so many theories here and there of, oh, there's a dragon egg here, there's a dragon egg there. I'm just thinking about the theories of Jace's dragon laying eggs at Winterfell, like all these different there's just dragon eggs everywhere apparently, all over the series. So.
Well, the one in Winterfell is really important because brumination. I don't think they're going to bruminate for 150 years.
Sheep stealer for John.
But exactly, yeah. The reason why there would be an egg in the crypts is because it might be giving John his dragon dream. That's my theory about that. And even if it's not the dreaming thing, if there's a dragon egg in there, even from Jace's day, like that could still be a symbol of who John is somehow. But
I don't know, Estella. Like, my imagination goes crazy. Like, I see like Alice as far as those eggs. She might be getting glimpses of what Damon got a glimpse of, which was like Daenerys sitting there with the eggs. And the thing is, if Alice is seeing it, Alice might be seeing like a bald woman in the midst of fire. And maybe there's no face. Like, sometimes in your dreams where you just see that blank fuzzy thing because like your brain hasn't written a face for whoever you're interacting with, an NPC. But maybe she doesn't see that, or like she might think that's herself. She's like, well, I have these eggs and all the other dragons are gone, or like whatever. I'm special enough. I believe in myself. Maybe I'm the chosen one.
I could see that. Or maybe she thinks that's like her eventual daughter with Aemond. She's like,
Yeah.
oh, from our line is going to be Daenerys, So I could see that.
yeah, I think mostly it was clever to say that they came from Rhaena. It's like they need to, because like in the books they don't say. It's like somebody says, "Oh, Alice had a dragon," and so it's like, well, if they're gonna go with that, where'd it come from? And so it's like, oh, Rhaena was here with Dreamfire, known egg layer, so maybe like that was all well done. I don't know that they're gonna go anywhere other than her maybe hatching one, or that's Alice's motivation for trying to seduce a Targaryen, is to have a Targaryen and hatch an egg. Let's see. I love that Daemon was down to go fight Vhagar with his daughter. Yeah, that was the moment. I was behind it. I was like, yeah, go do it. Fix your damaged relationship with your daughter, but no.
Yeah.
We got I wrote in my notes, I was like, damn, that's a lot of dragons in one place. Like, it's crowded on that hilltop.
Yeah.
Somebody said, why did they recast Dreamfire from season 1?
I saw that. I was like, what dragon is that? I was like, who is that?
Yeah.
The actor signed up for another movie, and so, yeah. Yeah. I think Helena dies because Rhaenyra tells her she needs to ride her dragon, and she accidentally pushes her. The reason is her dream showing her saying Dracarys when she doesn't want to. So that I was bringing that up. If someone tries to force her to ride the dragon, she could choose ending her own life instead. I just don't know why Rhaenyra would think that she could force Helena to fly a dragon in battle against the other Hightowers. Like, why would she think that would even work?
I mean, maybe just a desperate plea of like knowing that her other dragon riders have betrayed her, and
Very
she's
desperate,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. And like it'd be payoff for her line, like the fact that the first thing she did ask was, "Hey, did Aemon make you do it?" Like trying to suss out like why didn't you ride? Like how capable of a rider are you?
Can I make you do it?
You?
Yeah, so in the books, remember, when Helena jumps, Dreamfire goes crazy in the dragon pit and snaps 2 of her 4 chains, which becomes important at the storming of the dragon pit because Dreamfire snaps the other 2, and she, alone amongst the 4 dragons there, is able to fly around and kill a bunch of people, and then she flies into the dome, and that's why it collapses. So,
oh, do we think she's gonna fly up into the dome with Helena? They're not gonna be able to get out.
oh God, she'd bump her head on that thing and she'd be dead for sure.
Yeah.
So that's what I was opening up. It's like, yeah, will Helena instead be at the dragon pit somehow? That's what the dream almost seemed to suggest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be some mad chaos. Like, judging from the level of chaos with these 4 dragons tussling a bit on this hill, can you imagine hundreds of people and 4 dragons and it's all going apeshit? And that's going to be nuts.
Crazy, yeah.
I think that's the thing can I even say I want to see it? That's not the right word. It's the most compelling thing that we have left besides maybe Rhaenyra's death. Like, absolutely just an insane thing to put on television.
Yeah, that scene, the God's Eye, just dreading to see all of it, but also can't wait, but also, yeah, dreading it.
So since you bring up the God's Eye, do you think they are going to be able to show the jump? Like, how would you film that? Like, they do all their dragon work up on the buck. You're not going to have Matt Smith jump off the buck. You'd have to put the leap. You'd have to make like a buck over some padding and like have a rope pull him off or something. Like, I'd be afraid of that looking kind of cheesy almost.
They can do it. Have you seen the Avatar movies? It's a lot of jumping off of their dragon equivalent things. There's a lot of jumping on and off.
I have unfortunately forced myself to watch 2 of the Avatar movies, both of which were excruciatingly awful. But your point remains.
The CGI is good.
I was going to say they were able to do what I thought was some pretty amazing work with putting Lena Headey's face on that walk of shame person that wasn't actually her. So I could see them having a stunt double person jumping off the dragon, and it's so quick and blurry that I could see them kind of putting Matt Smith's face on there doing the jump. I could see something like that.
Hopefully they'll pull that off because it's sick when you read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's so cool. So,
which dragons are in the pit? Morgul, Shrykos, Tyraxes, Dreamfire, and Sea Smoke when he's in town.
And Cyrax should be in there too, healing, right? Healing up from their wounds.
Cyrax hangs out at the Red Keep. That's why Joffrey's able to climb on her back.
Oh, right. Okay.
She's a spoiled dragon.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because that still needs to happen. We've barely seen Joffrey, so.
That's why I was wondering. Like, they're not building him up like he's going to die. I mean, maybe they'll build him up in the first couple episodes next season and then he'll die. But, like, they might just cut Joffrey out of that thing like they cut the kids out of the gullet.
Yeah.
He's got to die, though, because he doesn't become king. So.
Yeah. So.
No, he's got to die.
I hope they keep his death the same.
Yeah, I think it really is an important thing. It
Yeah.
fits in with everything they've done about dragons and riders and not having control and stuff. Like
Lore.
it's kind of the epitome of that whole plot line. So I
Mhm.
seems like they probably will do it. They're gonna have to give Matt Smith a couple extra milli to jump off that buck. I'm telling you.
Well, it's funny seeing him on the inside the episode stuff. They're like, oh yeah, he was wanting to stand on it and slap Caraxes with the glove, and they're like, Matt, please be careful, please be. He was willing to be standing up and jumping around on that thing. So.
Yeah, he is. He is a little crazy like that. Yeah, he's all like, I think Damon needs to be more violent.
So.
All right, on. Well, last call for questions, guys. Let me just check the super chats again. And last call for questions. Oh, we did get a couple. I'm making some offerings to Garth at the moment. I pray he finds it acceptable. Oh, Garth is not a picky man. That's his whole thing. He's not picky. He's always playing ball, you know. Let's see. What dragons are in the pit still? I just answered that. All right, cool. Well, thank you guys for all the super chats. Rhaenyra's story is the anarchy. Oh, thank you. So Henry II is the father of Matilda. And we know Empress Matilda is a big Rhaenyra influence. So that does fit. That does make sense. Thank you, chat. Either they're using this scenario to break the bond with Sheepstealer to hatch Morning, or Daemon will stage a jailbreak to go off with Rhaena to get Sheepstealer back. Yeah, so we covered both of those possibilities. It's kind of exciting, I guess, to have at least a couple plot lines where we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this episode was a lot of very new things and changes or things that just were not in the book, and I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. So it shows that it's like, if they do it right, it can be really fun and entertaining. It's not that we're all against things being fully, different. I think if you do it right and you pull it off, you pull it off.
Matilda's the mother of Henry II. Sorry, wrong. Yeah.
Now it's starting to seem like this Nettles thing is almost book accurate. Listen, I will always have rather have had Nettles, and specifically me playing Nettles, but this is starting to fit into what's in the books, because there's just lines that says, some say she was his daughter, and it's like, boom, they're showing us this, and then the only thing is it doesn't make sense for it to be Rhaena, who already has a storyline, but if you fit this storyline with anyone else, it works.
I feel like I vacillate wildly week to week. Like 1 week I'm like, oh yeah, this Rhaena's plotline is pretty good, and then another week I'm like, man, this is kind of dumb. I don't like this. So I've really been on both sides, like at least twice.
Yeah,
that's true.
It worked this week, and it really worked. I guess it was the first couple episodes of the season. I thought her involvement in the gullet was really interesting, and we got her catching the sheep and tying it up. And then I liked the conversation with Daemon. Maybe that was week 3 or 2. I can't remember, but
off topic, someone mentioned the tapestry in the opening, and if Helene is making it. I just wanted to say I've been enjoying that they've been changing it a little bit every episode. In this episode, we saw Kristen Cole on it. I thought that was a nice addition.
Yeah, and we saw something else too. 2 people that were like back to back, and there was a pool of blood spreading underneath of them. Did you know who that was? It's like right before Kristen.
Blood. 2 people back to back.
Kind of hard to tell who they were supposed to be.
Yeah, I'll have to look at it again just to make sure. I know, like in the previous episodes, in one of them they showed us Torrin Manderly, and they've been showing the threads being torn apart. I'm like, yeah, who would be back to back with blood? I'll have to look at it again.
Yeah, there's like 2 people, and then it flips, and then it's the same 2 people, but now they're bleeding. And I just don't know who that was.
Oh, someone said the twins. Is that a reference to season 2 with Eric and Ara?
I was thinking that too, but then I thought, wouldn't it be relevant to this episode?
I don't think that fits in the timing of it, because it was right before Cole, so it should have been something 2 black, then 2 green. Are they showing us all the dead kids, Jason, Luke, and then... Well, Helena's only lost 1. Yeah, I don't think that's right. I have to go back and look.
Maybe it's just a reference to people changing allegiances. Now one is black, now one is green.
Could be.
Butcher's Ball, Fake Death. No, they wouldn't put 2 panels for the Butcher's Ball. They already put Kristen on there. And Kristen's in the middle of a 7-pointed star, which is pretty cool. And Helena's embroidery, I mean, we talked about that. That was a last week thing. Do we think Sunfire can fly? No, I don't think so. I think I mean, maybe a little bit, but like they're probably gonna show Sunfire being injured.
Oh, do we think that, because someone said it's like 2 guys in gray and black and then they switched to brown hair with green. Do we think that's in a reference to the killing of the gold cloaks and all that's been happening, all the murders in King's Landing?
I was thinking about the gold cloaks. Hugh and Ulf haven't happened yet, so that wouldn't be in the opening tapestry. They don't do that until after it's happened. Helena was embroidering a burning ship today. Oh, I didn't see her. I didn't see a close-up of her embroidery. I apologize. I didn't see that. I know Rhaenyra grabbed it out of her hand, but I didn't see that it was a different panel.
A burning ship. Interesting.
Okay. Well, we'll have to go back and look. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So thank you, ladies, for giving us 3 hours of your time. I guess, yeah, we're done here. It's
9.9. This one was so great. No notes. And then next week, the finale. We're gonna be spoiled.
And Estella, you are unavailable next week, correct?
I am, yeah. Unfortunately.
So you'll be back on the channel, but let's just say thank you for, sitting in with us this season. Appreciate you very much.
It's been great going back and forth with you.
Oh, for sure. This has been so lovely, and I've appreciated, I feel like we've been volleying insights really well. We'll have to do it again soon for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I was thinking it might be cool to do some sort of wrap up stream besides next week, So maybe we'll get a bunch of people on and do that.
Like a future predictions, for the next season.
Yeah, decompress and predict. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Season wrap up too.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thank you, chat. You can find all of our channels linked in the description. Just click on their names. Click on my name. And let's see. What will I have out this week? I don't know. I've got a bunch of things in the hopper. It's just a matter of what I'm going to release this week. So stay tuned. I will have videos. If you didn't catch the Aemon Knights King video, check that one out. No, it's not literal. I had I guess I should be grateful. Only 4 or 5 people commenting, he can't be that there's hundreds of years ago. I'm like, no, it's parallel. First 20 seconds of the video, I said, it's a parallel. Watch the video.
Not literal parallels. Yeah.
My thumbnail was a little trolly. Same dude. It's like, you can't be the same. Like, yeah, I know. Anyway. Thanks, you guys. See you next time. Cheers.
Bye.